What a finish! What a man!
The drum roll finishes, and the target is...
And it comes on finals night, and it's another
Dirty Harrison! Van Velzen!
That was diabolical!
And the match, Scott
Absolutely
Campbell.
sensational!
Gates on the third leg, Gemma Hayter.
The points might be going the way of Hayter in this one.
And that's the second of the day for Barry Copeland. Double eight. What a finish! What a performance from Leonard Gates. Hello, welcome to your second dosage of darts on this Thursday here at the Modus Super Series. Tonight, Group B is about to get underway at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Leonard Gates, Gemma Hayter, and the return of Jamie Lewis is going to be just some of the headlines that will be involved this evening. And we also have the return of Glenn Durham. He wasn't scared off after the afternoon session, but it was an afternoon session which was dominated by Peter Vachuri and Kevin Burness. Let's talk about Peter. 5 games, 4 wins, 8 points. A very good day for him.
Yeah, I mean, most of all, I mean, the fact I could see him up close and personal was really important because, I mean, it was great news of him coming over. I honestly, if I was asked the question on Monday morning, seriously thought it was going to be a little bit too much for him. Today, he was brilliant.
Well, he actually made national news headlines in Kenya. Now, this 9-dart tent actually made their 6 o'clock news. We haven't got the sign language person that they had in that particular news broadcast, but this was a great moment for Peter.
Well, I mean, it is. You're not really thinking of that. I mean, almost like we were getting a little bit excited roundabout there. The most difficult dart is the next one. Once the 7th dart goes, I mean, now he's feeling brilliant. But let me tell you, the adrenaline right now going through his body is pretty difficult to try and explain to players who haven't played on a stage, etc. But it was a fantastic moment. And yeah, we had a little giggle, the fact that, you know, it was on national news there. That's the impact he's having, joking aside. I mean, it's big news and he's delivering. And now he's in a wonderful position to qualify for Saturday night. What a story.
And the sign language interpreter did exactly what most people do around here, and that's ignore me. Right, let's have a look then at the table in Group C following the first day's play. Kevin Burness and Peter Vachuri both on 8. Carl Coleman, Noel Van Leeuwen, Donny Chilwater on 4. Martin Thomas on 2. We're going to resume that tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Tonight we're going to be having a look at Group B, and this is how the tournament bracket looks at the halfway point of the week. Colin Osborne won Group A yesterday. Tonight, Leonard Gates and Barry Copeland will be joined by Scott Campbell, Gemma Hayter and Jamie Lewis. So, Scott, Gemma and Jamie are the players dropping in. Scott Campbell, it's been a little while since we've seen him here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. And before the session gets underway, every player gets the opportunity to practice on the stage. And Scott made most use of that practice time because he nearly hit a 9-darter.
I mean, you can see it's live and everything because, you know, they're just chatting. I mean, there's certainly no thoughts about the 9-darter roundabout now. But, yeah, all they're doing is getting a feel for that stage, chatting away, having a joke. I'm just wondering if the other players are just beginning to pick up roundabout now. But for sure, Scott maybe will turn around and say, that's 2 on the spin. You can see smiles again all round. And then watch what he does here as well. I mean, we've seen how close Vachuri was earlier. Now the interest. Now everyone's looking, no smiles. But he bottled it.
My biggest concern is how quick did Jamie and Gemma throw?
Yeah, they were quick in between throws there, weren't they?
On the subject then of Gemma Hayter, she won the Tour Championship finals here at the end of last year. The Global Championship didn't quite go to plan. She has had a shoulder problem. We did see it at the Women's Series a few weeks ago. What kind of form do you reckon we'll see from her this
Well, I'm looking forward to chatting about Gemma because I was commenting on the Women's Series at the weekend. She reached the final. She is in good form. Talk quite a lot about the shoulder injury, but she's been working in partnership with work just to try and alleviate sort of repetitive strain on the shoulder. So they wanted to succeed in the game as well. She's a great player. I hope we see the best of her tonight.
Well, this is what the bookies think about tonight's action. And Gemma Hayter's actually the 17-2 outsider. And against even money. What's your thoughts on that?
I know we'll disagree here because you were surprised, just like we were surprised to see the... I think the bookies have got that about right. And the reason why, I believe, Leonard Gates finished the Group A campaign with 5 wins out of 5 on Wednesday. But he just likes playing at this time of the night as well. I expect to see the best of Leonard Gates. I expect him to qualify. Even money, not a lot of value there.
18 plus, camelaware.org if you're going to have a flutter on the Super Series this evening. Right, we're going to kick off with a meeting between Scott and Barry, which means tomorrow night it'll be a meeting of Barry-Scott. But anyway, straight into the action then, and it's Scott Campbell. It's looking to clean up here on the live lounge stage. Back here for the first time since the summer, and he's looking to qualify for a second finals night from 3 appearances. Earlier on this evening, I caught up with him to get his thoughts and his assessment ahead of tonight's game. Scott, back at the Super Series, how much are you looking forward to the challenge in the next couple of days?
Yeah, brilliant. Different for me this time. Group B for my first time. Later start, so a little bit more preparation through the day. Yeah, just looking forward to get going.
What do you think the big differences are going to be? Because you've kind of played your trade in Group A's and Group C's in the past.
It's just been Group C before, actually, but it's just giving myself more time during the day. Wake up, go for some dinner, just chill out in the room, watch a couple of films, get myself going.
Been a little while since we've seen you here at the Super Series. How have the darts been in recent times?
Yeah, it's been okay. It's still a bit up and down. Good's really good, but the bad's starting to get a little bit better. So the B game's improving, so it's steps forward.
In terms of this week, what would be a successful couple of days for yourself?
I'm definitely wanting to make finals night for like the second time. So it says obviously 3 out of the 5 go through at Group B, so a good start tonight would be positive.
Does that change the prerogative then? Because as you mentioned with the Group C's in the past, it feels a little bit more cutthroat. Does Group B, even though you need to get results, does it feel like you can possibly just relax your way into it a bit?
Potentially, yeah. Group C, as you says, it's cutthroat right from the start. It's obviously only the top 2 go through, 3 out of 5 Group B. But obviously you're getting 2 from Group A that's obviously playing well during the week, so it's going to be tough. A lot of good players. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, we wish you all the very best. Scott, good luck.
Cheers, Henry.
And for Scott Campbell, his first assignment is Barry Copeland on this Thursday evening. The man from Scotland takes on the daddy from Northern Ireland to kick off the Thursday Tungsten Roadshow here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. For Campbell, a third appearance here. In his previous 2, he made 1 semi-final on a finals night. Former semi-finalist on the Challenge Tour as well. 35 years of age from Aberdeen in Scotland. Up against Barry Copeland, who is featuring here for a second time. Former weekly finalist in his previous appearance. Former finalist in the Wimbledon World Masters. That appearance came all the way back in 2022, where he lost out to Wesley Plazier in terms of winning that particular title at the De Bontewever complex in Assen. Both players completing their final practice darts. Well, we've got rid of one referee, and I think we've got a bit of an upgrade. George Baker is the man in the middle this evening who will be presiding over all of the night's action. A world-level referee, and he will call to the hockey Scott Campbell for the opening match of the night. The 2020 Premier League champion, the 3-time Lakeside winner, Glenn Dowen, is with me here in the commentary box to describe every single dart over the course of this session. And if the truth be told, Glenn, we're not quite too sure what we're going to get.
140.
Oh, one thing I'm pretty confident is I think we're going to see some high-quality darts. I mean, We talked an awful lot about this group being probably the best group of the week. Informed players coming down from Group A. And the introduction of players like Scott Campbell, Scottish captain. And what I am surprised at, Henry, your interview with him, the information I had is that he came a grandad today. But no mention of that in the interview. So maybe, I don't know if I've got my information right.
Well, if that's the case, many congratulations. I suppose it'd be granddaddy up against the daddy.
Yeah, it's great to see Barry Copeland, one of my favourite all-time moments. As he often will shout, "Who's the daddy?" Of which he did that in front of a packed audience, and then his teeth fell out.
84.
Good old Barry.
We'll be hoping for no toothless performances tonight on the live lounge stage. Scott Campbell. He's got 6 darts on 182.
97. $130.
Yeah, I must have got my information wrong. He's only 35, so that's a good start to the evening. If someone's trying to get
60.
one over on me, I'll get them back.
52.
It's been a brilliant start. Mr. Double 12 for a 9-darter in his practice darts.
Game
What a start to the evening.
Scott Campbell.
Where'd you get your facts from, Glenn?
Second leg, it's Barry to throw first. Game on.
I've actually gone a bit red. I'm just...
Well, this is news. This really is news.
59.
Let's talk about the darts.
Yeah, I hope I haven't grassed him up, I'm thinking now. My head's all over the place here.
$91.
Yeah, I know that Barry is a player you feel will top the group in this Group B, or you certainly think he is the value. He is on the back of that incredible
100.
game at Lakeside when you're playing your best friend and your pair's partner in a match that goes the full distance. But it was Neil Duff that got over the line against Barry Copeland. But great to see him on the stage here.
137.
Well, we wonder what kind of start Scott Campbell was going to make to this match. 109.35.
59.
The average at this present moment in time. 14-darter to win the opening leg. And for Barry Copeland, well, it's a slow start to the evening session for him.
59.
If the truth be told, over the course of the first 3 days of action, he won 2 out of his 3 opening matches, but
52.
he would go on to play better than his opening match over the course of the session. Little bit of a slow start, you could say, Barry Copeland. Maybe sometimes just needs a game or two just to really get into proceedings.
You can apologise whenever you're ready, Henry.
It was you, doubted yourself.
139.
What a start by Scott Campbell, who I am now confident to say became a granddad today. I've had it confirmed, so there you go, everybody. Journalism at its very
60.
best.
Scott, you require 75.
He'll start on treble 17. Big 18, he's looking solid. Tops for a 2-0 lead. This is a beautiful start from the Scottish captain.
Campbell.
Exactly what you want. He talked quite openly about the fact if he can get off to a fast start, he knows it's 3 from 5 in qualification. And he feels the damage can be done early doors. And a great start.
103.66, a 14 followed by a 15 for Scott Campbell to open up a 2-love lead in this match. Bit of a chasm in terms of the averages there, Glenn.
100.
Yeah, just Barry has not come out the traps, like you said, and you can see. I mean, he's experienced, Barry. I mean, he is a player who has won titles like the Isle of Man Classic. So I think of Barry of representing his country and how tough he is to play.
60.
A real character. I don't know how much you see that without the crowd involvement, etc.
Well, in this meeting between Barry and Scott, it could be a case of bang and the darts is gone for Copeland.
91.
Could be whittled aside in very short time against Scott Campbell.
99.
Yeah, when you see 310, you're thinking 140. When that first start made it very difficult.
41.
Persevered because of that number. Didn't particularly want to go down there, but in the end, it's opened the door ajar for Barry. So we're still waiting for him to really find the treble 20 bed.
66.
Uncharacteristic like him to be so inconsistent, but early doors here. But a big opportunity for Scott Campbell. He might be moving around the board on this 269. You'd expect him to go down to the 90s at some point.
$41.
Absolutely fantastic at the Scottish Open recently. Was Scott Campbell, a player who won many, many titles
100.
in mixed pairs with Dieter Hedman.
Something about Northern Irish players and a prolificness when it comes to a pairs format, whether it be
100.
men's pairs, ladies pairs, mixed pairs. That's the first 180 of the night. Scott Campbell looking to race into a 3-0 lead. He's left himself 48 to make it 3-love in the favour of the Scot.
100. Scott, you
Some
acquire
pressure coming
48.
back. We're still bang on that 100 average at the moment for Scott Campbell. He looks focused, he looks determined, he looks in the mood. That looks sort of surprisingly is going to the outside, so you would think it's that top
16.
section of the double 16. And finally
Barry,
it
you
blinks.
acquire 76.
And an opportunity finally for Barry Copeland. This would be for a breaker throw.
It's double top for the break-in 2-1.
36.
Not to be. When he's had a glimmer
Scott,
in
you
terms of
acquire
getting himself back
32.
into the match. But the top's missed, and so Campbell will come back. Looking at the 32 to open up a 3-0 lead in the game.
Game shot in the
Perfect.
third
First start,
leg.
no
Scott
problem.
Campbell.
Well, we asked the question, what kind of nick was Scott Campbell in, having not seen him for the best part of 6 months? Well, he's in
Fourth
a
leg,
very
it's Barry
fine
to
form,
31st.
averaging
Game
93,
on.
94. That's the equivalent of 16 darts per leg. Scott Campbell, 3-0 to the good, and he is in cruise control. He's playing like a man inspired tonight. And for Barry
100.
Copeland, well, this is as poor a start as he could have possibly have wished for.
Yeah, you're right. Campbell is in good form. Averaged 101.90 against Jim McEwen at that Scottish Open. He went on to the semi-finals, and it was great to see the winner, actually.
140.
Christian Perez. So Christian has stayed in the country, doing the WDF circuit. Maybe we'll see Christian Perez at Lakeside.
Well, more than that, we may see him at the Global Championship as well. He won one of the events on the ADC Tour as well
140.
at the beginning of the season. Not just did he win it, he was averaging about 92 for the tournament. So highly likely we're going to see him here at the Tour Championship Finals. Highly likely we're going to see him here at the Super Series at
140.
some point. And when you consider the way his PDC career started in terms of visa problems and visa issues, he never really got a fair crack at the whip in terms of his 2 years on tour. But for Scott Campbell here,
100.
he will feel like, despite the fact Copeland's left himself on a finish, that he's got 6 darts from this point to wrap up a 4-0 victory, and a very good 4-0 win of that.
100.
Yeah, beautiful last start.
Barry,
One thing I would never do.
161.
Just write that man off in your picture. He's had an up and down Group A session, but this is the type of dart he can produce. He'll go back upstairs. Such a good marker that first start, but just drifts into the one why, he
Scott,
says.
you require 121.
And Campbell, it's been polished. It's been professional. Just the start that he wanted. Treble 17's the shot.
$53. Barry, you require 83.
So Copeland looking at 83 to extend this game furthermore. Well, that's a mistake. Campbell heads straight back to the drinks table. He knows he's going to get a shot to win the game now.
Oh, sorry, 45. Sorry, yes, 45 left.
45 left. Double 16 if he
51.
returns.
Scott, you require
Let's see
68.
Scott Campbell just getting his preparation from taking just a little sip of the water to that same routine. You'd expect at least a dart. No drama. It is a match dart. It is tops.
48. Barry, you require
For the last couple of legs,
32.
Barry Copeland has been given opportunities to get back into this contest. Only had the one dart at a double,
Game
and with
shot
dart
on the
2 he
board
takes.
there,
And you will see Barry Copeland, the type of player that will, when things go his way, he will show you that things are going his way.
Fifth leg
Okay,
is
his
Scott
back
to
is on the
31st.
canvas somewhat
Game
here,
on.
but he is showing that true fighting spirit of which you would expect from a player from his part of the world.
Yeah, represented his country so many times. I also get the sense that a
140.
full house here on Saturday night, and a player like Barry Copeland would revel in that. I think he enjoys the interaction with the crowd.
$121.
Yeah, so many big names still to come tonight. Really looking forward to Gemma Hayter against the red-hot favourite for the group, Leonard Gates.
100.
And the final player, Henry. Jamie Lewis, I don't even think he's really sure. Back playing local stuff.
100.
Just dipping his toe to see where his game is at. So fascinating. He's got a couple of games to wait, which I think's a good thing. He's not been thrown into the deep end. He can assess what's going on around him. So looking forward to game 3 where we
55.
see Jamie Lewis for the first time.
Well, it's a case of with Jamie Lewis that until he plays, he doesn't know. And I think he's just going to play his own game tonight.
60.
Of course, he wants to qualify, but I think there's a bigger thing in play than that. I think he wants to know whether, A, he wants it, B, he's still at the level of it, and C, what avenues could be ahead as a result of the couple of days here.
79.
I think results, yes, he wants, but results won't be indicative of how he perceives this experience this week.
140.
Copeland is scrapping
Scott,
away.
127.
Campbell's had a match dart. Looks like he's going to get another one. Will it be the bullseye? Yes, it is.
102. Barry, you require 80.
Copeland's looking at 80 to extend this game. He's been given outside chances the last 3 legs. And he's going to get 2 in his hand at double 10 to break back, to return the game to throw, crucially. Cannot get,
60.
and that's probably going to be the end of it.
Scott, you require 25.
Looked like he'd done the hard work there. You can see exactly how he feels about that when he takes his darts out. But not a flicker of emotion from Scott Campbell. He came out the trap so well. That's his 3rd match dart.
21. Barry, you require 20.
Well, the drama continues into minute 15 of the match. Double 5. Inside. He had problems in terms of his doubling in his
16.
opening game yesterday, and that's
Scott,
continued
you
into
require
today.
4.
Well, we built this group up, and it started like a house on fire for Scott Campbell, averaging well over 100 after 3 legs. But it's all about those 2 points. He knew the importance of a good start. It's Madhouse, and gets that
Game
good
shot,
start.
and the
By
match,
hook or
Scott
by crook in the
Campbell.
end, but the Scottish captain, Scott Campbell, led the match 3-0. There was a moment there of possibility of Barry Copeland getting back into it, but Scott Campbell will be delighted. He knew the importance of the opening game. He knew the importance of getting those 2 points on the board. A really professional star. Looking forward to the next game. It's Gemma Hayter against Leonard Gates.
$54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. $32. Charlie McGuire, 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score, leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
McGuire,
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts, but he'll be coming back.
It's a moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the
81.
stage,
Charlie
approaching the
McGuire,
hockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
McGuire,
he's gone to
180.
bust it, maybe. The first title he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George
McGuire,
Gay wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia McGuire,
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
McGuire,
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia McGuire, 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go!
Couldn't get the job
Yes!
done.
Got out the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Motor
Skate.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Skate!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Scott Campbell got the better of Barry Copeland by 4-1. That kicked off the night session here, the Live Lounge reports. And next up for us, Gemma Hayter takes on Leonard Gates in our second Group B battle of the night. For Leonard, he finished second in Group A. Had a really good Wednesday, completed the card 5 from 5. The 2 days prior to that, he probably won't want to look back on too much. But for Gemma, this is a second appearance for her here in the Super Series for her. But we've seen plenty of her elsewhere. The 31-year-old from Gosport, finally it's the last time she played in this, her only previous appearance in the Super Series, once seen at the Global Championship, the Tour Finals and a Women's Week. Up against a 54-year-old from Houston, the Soldier, Leonard Gates, 4 times weekly, for 5 times a weekly finalist, 5 times and 6 appearances here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. These two going head-to-head in Game 2 of our evening session, and chewing the fat in the commentary box, it is Glenn Durrant.
Yeah, chewing the fat with every Scottish person in
First
the
leg,
world.
It's Gemma to throw first. Game
I've
on.
got 15 messages to confirm that Scott Campbell is a grandad hashtag. But yeah, I commentated on Gemma Hayter at the Women's Series this week, and she was a little bit concerned, Henry, based on the fact that
60.
this shoulder injury, well, it didn't do too bad because 2 finals, losing to Lisa Ashton and Bo Greaves by the odd leg as well. So a satisfactory
62.
weekend. I think she's going to have a crack in 2025. Good sponsorship around her now. As I mentioned before the show, she's working with her as
55.
well, so they're not putting too much strain on that injured shoulder as well. But I think she's the real deal. I think she's a very big scorer. I think she has all the attributes and skills and abilities to go far this year.
125.
Looking forward to her progress.
Have you got any exhibitions booked in Scotland anytime soon, Glenn?
3.
85.
Apparently his great-great-great-great-granddad is celebrating his 40th today.
40.
Well, Gemma Hayter's actually using a new set of darts, something a bit more customised towards her suit, towards her taste.
180.
And it looks like they work a treat.
That's what you call timing.
60.
I know
Gemma,
you were a
you've got
little bit surprised at
121.
how much of a red-hot favourite Leonard Gates was for this group. Double 18.
85.
Not to be on this occasion, but Hayter will come back for double 18 to take the opening leg.
60. Gemma, you require 36.
A red-hot start for Gemma Hayter against the red-hot favourite for the group. Surely, just a clip off.
No score.
Well, they hogged the
Leonard,
wire
you
very
require
tightly,
154.
but unable to find a way in. And so Leonard Gates is going to come back looking at 154 to take the break in the opening leg. He's been nowhere in this opening leg as the American. And who knows where Leonard could go for this particular finish.
I think it's fair to say his counting is getting so much better now. He probably won't go for the treble 18 here, which he should be going for.
94.
But I think that's an element of his game
Gemma, you
which
require
over the past couple of
36.
years is getting better. He's got that soft tip background, but it's Hayter who dominated this leg and puts it
Game
away
shot
in the end. A
first leg,
superstar from Gemma.
Hayter.
Well, on the subject of that and the Leonard Gates counting thing,
Second leg is Leonard to throw first. Game
it was
on.
very interesting that Owen Binks was our spotter in Group A, and he was actually saying in my earpiece yesterday
28.
Leonard seems to be better at counting down the more conventional or the unconventional stuff, like the stuff that is a little bit more advanced. He finds that stuff
46.
easier. It's actually more the simpler breakdowns which he's still struggling to acclimatise to.
97.
It's just an element of the game that you want to be as the best counter you can be. At times when I've been working with people, you're thinking I've found the
97.
golden nugget here. And then when it comes to the end and the counting is just not there to be counted. But like I said, when I first saw Leonard Gates, we weren't sure what he was going to be
45.
doing. But it's not as often now that we talk about the fact he's making bad decisions. The decision's simple here. Gemma Hayter has started much the better player.
140.
If it wasn't for those missed darts at a double, and Leonard Gates, despite the fact he had those 5 wins on Wednesday, despite the fact we said he likes to play this time of the
41.
night, he has not started this match yet.
Well, the two favourites at this present moment in time are being taught a bit of a lesson.
100.
Hayter leads herself on 118. She'll feel as if she's got a couple of pokes at this. And we'll get plenty of time
36.
to get the break,
Gemma, you require
to open up a
118.
2-0 lead and to open up a bit of a cushion in this match. Won't be done this time. Needs to find something big with the last start.
68.
Manages to recover that visit well enough to leave herself on 50 upon her return to get the break of throw and to double her lead.
140. Gemma, you require 50.
Well, he finally finds the treble, but he may not come back as Gemma Hayter's on a 2-darter for a beloved tops.
Game shot in the second leg.
Gemma Hayter leads,
Hayter.
2-0.
She's got the break and she's got control of this contest as Gemma Hayter.
Third leg is Gemma
Leonard
to throw
looks
first.
very puzzled,
Game
very
on.
confused in the background. Turn up to the venue at around about 8:45. Leonard looks like he's about to Ask the barman for...
A
sarsaparilla.
Yes. Last chance saloon maybe in this game for Leonard. But he turned up to the venue about 8:45, did Leonard.
140.
He had a boombox on, didn't he? And he had his music on, and I think he wanted to let everybody know that he had his music on, did Leonard.
Yeah, I thought he was just sort of resting on the table there, almost like just maybe a bit of an issue with his back or something.
95.
You begin to feel that when you go over the age of 50.
Wouldn't have an idea.
58.
He'll have been disappointed as well at the World Seniors last week, losing out in the quarterfinals to Graham Usher. Average round about the 90 throughout that game, but
32.
Graham just at those right moments took out. You could see the disappointment for Leonard Gates. He's always a big favourite when he goes to the seniors.
85.
The World Championship, the one blot in terms of his catalogue of major titles in that particular category of events.
100.
The Super Series also something which isn't on his resume as of yet. He's lost a couple of finals, one to Owen Bates and one to Chaz Barstow.
100. Leonard, you require 134. $94. Gemma, you require 148.
He'll take that. Or will he? She's good.
120. Leonard, you require 40.
What a moment that would have been for Gemma Hayter. I think behind she's just saying, wow, that was a chance.
Game
Leonard
shot in the
Gates is
third leg.
finally
Leonard
in this game. What an effort, that 148 and a 3-0. You'd have to say it would take some comeback the way Gemma Hayter has started this Group B campaign.
But what she also knows is this: by pinning that double 10, Leonard Gates has got the break, and so this match returns to throw. We're back pretty much as we would expect to be at this stage of the contest. And so the impetus again is on Gemma Hayter. Okay, she can hold all the way through and win the match, but the impetus again is back on her to attack the match. Now,
100.
it was the best part of 18 months ago when Fallon Sherrock made history in this building by becoming the first ever female player to pin a 9.
100.
And Gemma Hayter is one of those players that you suspect would be in the conversation as being the second to do so.
100.
Yeah, we have an unwritten rule in the comms box when a player gets a 180. We ask Henry to say nothing.
You don't say that when a player hits a 180, you just say that all the time.
100.
This is superb from Gemma. 180. Ton. Quality response from Leonard Gates. That's why he's the favourite.
Gemma, you got 121.
It was a wonderful effort on the 148. And it's a superb effort on the 121. What a finish. What a finish. The timing again. Leonard Gates. He will be sick as a chip because he pings the 180. He's sat pretty to go 2-2. Gemma Hayter, take that.
And you can see in the glinting smile on her face how big that was and how happy she was with that.
70.
Suddenly a game which could have so easily gone back to an even Kilton. So quickly the ascendancy could have changed in Leonard Gates' direction at 2 apiece. Is now in the
100.
favour, now in the direction of Gemma Hayter. And now Leonard Gates has it all to do. He has to win 3 on the spin. The impetus now is all on him. Gemma Hayter's done the hard work. It's now
60.
all about crossing the line.
Yeah, you felt the winner of this week will come from this Group B.
100.
And it was a wonderful start from Scott Campbell. Yes, he just petered off slightly at the end of it. But Gemma Hayter, despite the fact
140.
she missed so many darts at a double in that second leg, just round about that 90 average, and not a great deal Leonard Gates can do about it. Great to see.
60.
how key finishes like that can completely swing the trajectory of a match, and that's exactly what the 1-2-1 has done to this contest.
60.
And Gemma Hayter now just needs to keep it tight, keep it safe, and she should head for home. Gates needs a couple here. One may not be enough. And the ascendancy is all with one player, and that player now is Gemma Hayter.
Yeah, just keep it simple is what she's saying to herself, but it's all of a sudden you feel like that target area shrinks up. That's when the mind can just sort of play games a little bit. It just opens the door slightly for Leonard Gates, who's that stereotypical rhythm player. You can see him rocking and rolling, moving,
60.
and
Gemma, you require
just the way that he plays. But Gemma Hayter for the match.
Lovely guy for the treble. Cannot get it, and so Gates will come back.
58.
Looking at 138 to extend the game. If the 1-2-1 was a Hayter haymaker, this would be golden from Gates. Treble 18. Or he may stay there. Depends how he likes to lie. He enjoyed it, but he may not enjoy what's going to come next.
84. Gemma, you require 68.
Rhythm we were talking about there. A chance for Hayter. Been a brilliant start.
52. Leonard, you require 54.
So 54 to get the break, to keep the game going. And then suddenly again we return to throw, and the questions then get heaped on Gemma Hayter. 2 darts at double top.
He's jittery. He's certainly thinking about it. And that's reflected in that dart
36.
there. Is it the pressure that Gemma Hayter's been
Gemma,
putting
you
on?
require 16.
Well, that is so unlike Leonard Gates when he gets down to a double. But that is
Game
so much
shot
like Gemma
and the
Hayter.
match,
What a
Gemma
start.
Hayter.
Leonard Gates was a heavy favourite for this Group B campaign. That might be just the realisation that he's not going to get it all his own way. No real reaction there from Gemma Hayter, but she is. I don't think that average really does it justice there. Missed darted doubles, a scoring power is there, but that 1-2-1 was sublime. We move on to game 3. It's the first time we're going to see Jamie Lewis. He's up against Scott Campbell.
Hello and welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Well, you have been asking for so long about this. When is Lewis going to be playing at the Super Series? When's Lewis going to be playing at the Super Series? Come on, when's Lewis going to be coming back and playing at the Super Series? Please, we've been tweeting you about 100 times a day. Well, your wish is our command because Lewis is back at the Super Series. Jamie Lewis makes a first appearance here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, and he takes on Scott Campbell, who is already a 4-1 winner this evening. For Jamie, first time in this building, his previous appearance in the Super Series was when it was back in Southampton. He qualified for the Saturday, nothing more. 33 years of age still from Carmarthen in Wales. Fireball, the 2018 World Semi-Finalist. Don't forget Scott Campbell, we've seen him once. We've seen him win once this evening. A 4-1 success against Barry Copeland got his night underway. But what are we, Glenn Drummond, going to see in this Game 3 of our night session?
It was AD Lewis, by the way. Lazy journalism again from... No, but joking aside, it's great to see Jamie, and yeah, spoiler alert, we have had a chat with Jamie tonight as well. Didn't he speak really well about the highs and the lows of the game?
First leg, it's Jamie to throw first. Game on.
I could resonate with an awful lot from him. And yeah, I'm Team Lewis tonight. I hope he does really well. I don't think he's particularly sure what he's going to do on that stage. He looked to have
60.
a few nervy darts in practice. I mean, I know that was maybe 90 minutes to 2 hours ago. And even in those practice darts there, that throw that he has, I mean, if you just look at that smooth release.
81.
And whereas Jamie there, he'll be thinking, he'll be nervous up there, despite the fact of what he's done. He said he's playing some really good stuff in the local leagues. He's pinging 11 and 12 darters, so he'd expect to be competitive. But if he could get a win under his belt, that'd be just exactly what he needs.
And as you mentioned earlier on, I don't think results are going to be the be-all and end-all in terms of the perspective for Jamie. Now, this is the first time that he's played in this particular building. His previous appearance was in Southampton, played a few times in Ye Olde Livey League. Now, that really was a time and a place, Glenn. You had to be there to experience it.
135.
We should go back.
134.
It was a brilliant opening 3 legs from Scott Campbell. Barry Copeland did get opportunities in that opening game.
$140. Jamie, you've got 151.
So 151 for Jamie Lewis to take the opening leg of the match. And a failure to take it has opened up an opportunity here for Scott Campbell, who ran off to a quick start in his game against Barry Copeland. Legs of 15 and 14 for his first 2. And he now comes back looking at 87 to take the opening leg against Rowe to steal the march instantaneously. 6 scored, 81 left, Jemma 19. Would have given him a dart at double 12. And so Jamie Lewis will get a poke at this 94, 29. But it may be the only look he gets.
Jamie, you acquire 94.
Well, if the match was determined on sheer determination, what a dart that is. What a finish that is. We talked an awful lot about we're not really sure where Jamie's at. Can he settle quickly? Well, that finish will help that. Because Scott Campbell was sat on a 2-darter there.
Game on.
But isn't that good to see?
Well, the early indications are good for Jamie Lewis. He was on the back foot for a lot of that leg. Let's not disguise that particular fact. But when push came to shove, he would have known that's probably the only opportunity he was going to get to win that leg. Under the clutch-like pressure of the lights and the cameras, he was able to take it out. And it just looks like it settled him down a little bit. And it looks like now he's really beginning to find his groove, beginning to find his mojo somewhat.
And when I think of Jamie Lewis in that 2018 World Championships when he beat the likes of Johnny Clayton in that incredible game with Peter Wright, and then to have 96. That experience in the last ever Phil Taylor World Championships to play him in the semi-final, was the fact that when the first dart went there, you could already write 180 on it. It was an incredible tournament for his
100.
scoring power.
Jamie Lewis is the last player Phil Taylor beat as a professional. I mean, it's probably not something Jamie Lewis would want to hear, but it is still something nonetheless.
Well, he talked about how proud he was, almost pinching himself. He was trying not to realise the fact he was playing Phil Taylor.
58. Scott, you got 167.
Well, 6 darts at 167 here for Scott to level up at 1 apiece.
$71.
Treble needed.
100.
Treble got.
Scott, you acquire
Puts
96.
the pressure on Scott Campbell, who's looking to respond in this leg. Once again, a good indication your scoring power's good. After 12 darts, I leave a potential 2 dart, and what a dart that is. Happy accident? Absolutely.
Game shot in the second leg.
15
Scott
dart and a
Campbell.
great response from the Scot.
He's playing well. He's playing well tonight, Scott Campbell.
Third leg, it's Jamie
Still
to throw
ruefully
first.
shakes his
Game
head, but
on.
I think inside, well, you can actually see there's a real smile on the face. I think he's really pleased with the level he's ascertained so far tonight. Playing 2 of the first 3, if you could get a couple of decent results, can be the
58.
perfect recipe for your night. Because if he can win this game against Jamie Lewis, he'll move top of the table on 4 points, and then everybody else will be lurking in behind still with games to play.
Not that anyone's going to write
100.
anything bad about Scott Campbell, but the players and people I've spoke to about him, it's all been what a great guy that he is. And I think the one story that sort of resonated with me is when Dieter Hedman was doing the
96.
Packet of Crisps campaign to raise funds for youth darts. And Scott Campbell ate a packet of Monster Munch and then went round the internationals and raised 307 quid
121.
towards youth darts. So there's loads of good stories about him. But like I say, he's letting the darts do the talking tonight.
Not the most prolific Chris beater we've ever had here at the Super Series.
96.
You wouldn't have been here for that week, but we had a player called Kevin Mills.
I remember.
Now, he had a diet which was based on just 2 ingredients, crisps and sandwiches. And so,
45.
or bread and butter, whatever you want to call it. Crisps and bread. And so you used to have crisp sandwiches.
You mean potatoes and bread?
No, it was bread and crisps. Not potatoes, no, it was
57.
only crisps.
A crisp as a potato.
Potato, let's call the whole thing off. But he had a crisp sandwich on his wedding day.
You
59.
tell a great story. Ladies and gentlemen, Henry Deacon, everybody. Round of applause. The crowd goes wild.
Glenn, you don't know what a crowd is.
100.
So 176, looking to set this up. It might determine the route that Jamie Lewis is going to go. Just has to move across the hockey there. 2 well-thrown darts. Beautiful.
100.
Really
Jamie
nice.
94.
Does Lewis attack? Or does he go a little bit old school, starting on the bullseye?
Now, he's already taken this out double-double tonight, but he's not going to do so for a
22.
second occasion. And
Scott, you
so
acquire
Campbell
76.
looking at 76 to get the breaker throw, open up a 2-1 lead, and open up a bit of comfortability in the match. 16 leads double top to get the break and to open up a 2-1 lead.
56.
Just dressed low.
Jamie, you require
But Jamie will feel
72.
like for the 94, he should have left him much handier than what he has.
Should still get a dart or a double. Make that 2 darts or a double. He needs them both. Can he use the first dart?
66. Scott, you required
Well,
20.
Campbell comes back for double 10. The first real leg of the night where there's been multiple misses at a double. We saw a fair few of them legs this afternoon, didn't we? 2 10s for 2-1. Double 5 to get his nose in front. Double 5
Game
got
shot
right in the middle of the
third
bed,
leg,
and he gets
Scott
the break of
Campbell.
throw. Scott Campbell can now flex his muscles in this match. He opens up a 2-1 lead against Jamie Lewis, and it's
Fourth
halfway
leg, it's Scott to
towards
throw
2 wins and
first.
2.
Game on.
And at the end of game 3, it'll be halfway through the night and halfway towards a perfect card.
And he called it as well, Henry, didn't he? He realised the importance in this Group B. It's the first time he's played in a campaign. Knew exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to come out and win those opening couple of games.
100.
He doesn't care if he comes top or if he comes third. He just wants to get there on Saturday night. Tickets left for Saturday night. So please come and join us. You've pretty much had a full house every week
43.
lately, and you do make a brilliant atmosphere. You make a big difference. Just simply scan that QR code and just follow. There's a small payment to make there, but like I said, you'll have a fantastic time. It's a brilliant weekend of darts, Henry, actually.
And if you're lucky enough,
42.
Glenn Darwin will take a picture of you. Yes, he will hold the phone as you take your photos.
$100.
Glenn shakes head.
Now, Gemma Hayter does qualify through. You'll be hard-pressed to get tickets.
95.
Gosport brings a huge contingent with her. And it could be a happy night on Saturday, because if Portsmouth beat Luton and Gemma's a big Pompey fan, then it could be a very happy
96.
evening on the South Coast, because that'll probably be job done in terms of survival.
$140.
Well, it was a wonderful start, wasn't it, for Jamie Lewis? We felt that might just kick-start him on in this game. But Scott Campbell has turned the screw.
30. Scott, you require
He's in a
124.
fantastic position now to lead this match 3 legs to 1. Has the luxury of not requiring the bullseye in this 1-2-4. So does he go up for the 16s? Laying it up absolutely beautifully. Back for double 16.
Another efficient leg. Jamie's had glimpses, but I think this is kind of a performance we see a lot from players that are just
100.
weaning their
Scott,
way
you require
back into it. We'll
32.
see glimmers, but maybe the more consistent patches will come later on in the night. But in Group B, he can have a little bit of a
Game
luxury in
shot
that
in the fourth
department.
leg, Scott
But
Campbell.
Scott Campbell is a leg away from picking up his second win and putting himself in a
Fifth leg, it's
markedly
Jamie
good
to throw
position.
First. Game on.
Yeah, one thing that's markedly different from this afternoon is the pace of the games. As fascinating as Group C was, and the whole Wakuri story and the
100.
pace tonight, the quality tonight. There's been some misstarts at a double. That's stopping us seeing big averages. But this man in your pictures put himself right in the position to qualify for Saturday night, and he has that dynamic, that electrifying
83.
type style. Say a proud Scottish captain, and he's laying the foundations very nicely here.
100.
Jamie's just beginning to up the level, though, and that might be some cause for concern for Scott. This is a leg on the Lewis darts.
$43.
Yeah, beautiful start with a 180, backed up with a ton.
100.
After 9 darts, leaves 1-2-1, so looking good to reduce the deficit.
$59. Jamie require
So
121.
Lewis 121, and with time on his side to reduce the gap back down to 1. Doesn't have to attack it. But he's looking to leave himself in a handy position, and handy
97.
position he will to leave himself on double 12 after 12 to bring it back to 3-2. Jamie Lewis is just beginning to move through the gears here, and that will be some cause of concern for Scott Campbell. However, the Scot does have the insurance policy of
60. Jamie
the throw in
acquired
the next leg, and it
24.
looks like he's going to have to cash it in.
Yeah, lots of positives so far for Jamie Lewis. Just maybe that
12.
match sharpness. That's when it can catch up with you, those doubles. You'll want to see off this when you have problems on the double six in the previous leg, remember. But his scoring's been mighty fine. He's been competitive. Just before those darts, to take his average over 86 for the first time.
140. Jamie acquired 12.
So to reduce the deficit to 1.
It's one of those doubles you don't like the breakdown from, but you don't mind throwing at double six. But that, as you can see, is right in the way. That's why he's had to traverse the whole way across the hockey towards the left-hand side. A fair into hit has given Scott Campbell a match-winning opportunity here. 116 to complete a 4-1 success. There's big glimpses of good stuff from Jamie Lewis, and he'll be hoping to build as the night goes along. But for Scott Campbell, this is an opportunity to make it 2 wins from 2 if he can find double 18 to finish off in style. To finish off with a bit of panache. And Scott Campbell makes it 2 wins from 2. He gets the better of Jamie Lewis by 4 legs to 1. And he is midway through the night, and he has barely broken sweat yet. 2 really good performances. 2 averages in the mid to high 80s. Scott Campbell, we didn't quite know what form he was going to be in prior to this week after a bit of a time away from here, but he has come back and made an instant mark on the Modus Super Series. He beats Jamie Lewis by 4 legs to 1. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, our next live match on Pluto TV sees Barry Copeland take on Gemma Hayter. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000.
The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And welcome back to the Motor Super Series. It's Group B action, and what a start for Scott Campbell. Opening 3 games, he's been involved in 2 of them and 2 massive wins. He opened up with victory over that man in your picture on the hockey, Barry Copeland. Was very comfortable for 3 legs. Made a little bit of hard work, and he's just come off the back of a good win over Jamie Lewis. I think Jamie will see the positives. Round about the mid-80 averages through there. Just a couple of missed doubles, just maybe highlighting his lack of match sharpness. Will he have time to rectify that? Jamie Lewis's next game against a potential wounded animal in Leonard Gate, so that's a match to look forward to. But we talked about the fact that if Gemma Hayter does qualify, a local player, we could see a full crowd here. Well, she started brilliant tonight. Beat the red-hot favourite Leonard Gate. So she hasn't had much time to reflect on that.
Game on.
Back really quickly, and you have to say, if she can get this one already, we're going to see Scott Campbell and Gemma Hayter with a big difference in the league table.
Well, we're suddenly seeing a scenario where 2 players are ahead at the top, and if things continue in that manner, it may well be a 3-way fight for 3rd position in the group. It was kind of what we saw at the end of night 1, but things did then drastically change on Friday, where a certain Tedward Everett would find himself in a disadvantageous position come the end of it.
Disadvantageous, that's a word.
180.
And that is as good as it gets. Gemma Hayter really demonstrating all her power scoring qualities. I'll go all the way back to 2016 with Gemma when she made that debut for England, and a classic story, which we keep reminding you of. She witnessed the success of Luke Littler last year at the World Championships. Well, the year he got beat runner-up, so she got her darts back out. You have to say the rest is history.
And off to a flying start here. And Barry Copeland, who was the 2nd favourite tonight, could find himself languish at the bottom of the table if he's not careful. Gemma Hayter brushed aside Leonard Gates, the favourite to win the Group 4-1 in her opening match. Paul, that second one, did not like the release of that. But double 9 is found. That's a 12 dart breaker throw. And Gemma Hayter, right from the get-go, asserts her authority over Barry Copeland.
Second leg, it's Gemma to throw first. Game on.
Does she have a nickname, Gemma? Because I created one of the women's series, and she said, Glenn, it was pathetic.
59.
What could you have possibly suggested as a nickname that could have been pathetic?
Gemma Hayter, the creator.
Yeah, no, she's right. It was pathetic.
60.
Can I have your attempt then, please?
Well, when I commentated on her winning the Tour Championship title...
Oh, it's not about you, Henry. Just give us a nickname.
100.
I don't want a history. This is your life, Henry, every time I ask you a question.
Well, you're asking for my opinion, so I'm going to...
I don't want to know the fact that you...
Well, I'm trying to give a backstory to a story that you want me to...
100.
I'm trying to give you a story behind why I do something. It's not just going to be, you know, something with a Y on the end. There's a reason behind it. And basically, what I was going to say before I was
45.
rudely interrupted was I commentated on the ADC Tour Finals, and I called Gemma Hayter the Golden Gem. And maybe something along the gem line may work, or...
60.
If you were at school, Henry, it'd say, see me, but she's finding that treble 20 like a gem. She was disappointed with that bounce out there.
61.
Oh, let me tell you, after that first dart there, you do not want to hear 61.
Or maybe Gemma's one of those players that just would prefer just to be Gemma Hayter. No nickname, no frills, gets on with the job, does it well,
54.
wins things. Because there are players like that.
I think a real highlight for her this year will be the World Match Play in Blackpool. Like I say, I think she's got the game. I mean, Greaves does look head and shoulders. That incredible statistic, Greaves top of the development to a challenge to win Women's Series. But if anybody, Fallon Sherrock,
60.
Gemma Hayter is in the mix now, isn't she?
She is a perennial contender. That there is absolutely no doubt.
60.
And
Barry,
we've
you
talked
require
about real opportunity for
167.
people who qualify for Champions Week. If we could add Gemma to that list, that would be fantastic. But Barry Copeland has other ideas. Just crept out that treble 19 that he needed for the 167.
87. Gemma, you require 132.
She's pulled out for a fantastic finish early with a 1-2-1 on the bull. She's not going to do the 1-3-2.
And so Copeland comes back.
94.
Looking at
Barry, you
80
require
to level this
80.
game up at 1 apiece. And if it doesn't go, Hayter is sat on a double. Copeland stares up at tops. Cannot
60.
find it, and so Hayter
Gemma,
comes
you
back
require
looking at
38.
double 19. Or there is perhaps the option to split this, and I think she might be caught in two minds. Went straight for. Can she get?
19.
Just squeezed above the
Barry,
wire.
you require 20.
When you could visually see she changed her mind halfway through that decision there. Will she be punished?
Game
Yes, she
shot
will.
the
Barry
second leg,
Copeland.
Barry Copeland.
Just quietly but effectively getting on with his job. It was a really slow start from him in his first game.
The leg, it's Barry to throw
And there was a moment
first.
there where
Game on.
it was looking like the fight back was on. It was a beautiful start from Gemma Hayter in this match, but Copeland, a breaker throw in the treble. Good things happening for Barry Copeland.
180.
Well, that's his first max of the match. In fact, it's his first max of the night. But Gemma Hayter looking to respond immediately.
140.
Yeah, fantastic week of darts we've been talking about. Like I said, there's tickets for Saturday night here. We've already had the Premier League tonight.
60.
And Luke versus Luke in the final.
Yeah, Luke Humphries, good friend of Gemma Hayter.
Yeah.
Won 6-4 against
45.
the Nuke in the final. Now, I do want to go back to your Premier League predictions earlier on, Glenn, because you said that Chris Dobie would win the night.
121.
I went for value.
Admittedly, you did have Humphries in the final.
180.
Oh, this is great to see.
Barry got 140.
I'd rather focus on the here and now. Barry Copeland producing some beautiful darts. But Gemma Hayter backing it up as well. Barry Copeland was looking to check out this one for at least leave a manageable finish. He's done neither.
136.
Hayter very much backing this leg.
Unable to get the 136, and so Copeland will come back for the
60.
97
Barry, you
to
require
open up a
97.
2-1 lead in this match. Been a real topsy-turvy affair so far. 76 left. Couple of slack darts there. Gemma's going to get an opening. She may only get
Gemma,
one
you require
dart,
76.
but it's a chance to break nonetheless.
It was a beautiful 96 finish in the first leg. Can she back that up with a 76?
Game
3 legs
shot in the
played.
third leg,
3 breaks to
Gemma
throw.
Hayter.
Gemma Hayter leads 2-1.
But usually 3 breaks of throw is indicative of a
leg
poor
is
game and
Gemma
a
to
poor
throw
standard, but it's not the
first.
case in
Game
this
on.
one. Both players just, you could argue that both players are kind of playing to their mean performance. Mid to late 80s averages. But now Gemma Hayter is really beginning to look to make that move. Third 180 of the game. On throw having just broken, is now looking to break the back of Barry Copeland.
60.
That first start,
100.
Glenn, looked so inviting.
I agree, Henry.
But what she has done is put herself in a real strong suit in this leg, even despite the fact that
134.
Copeland's hit a couple of trebles there. 6 darts and 2-2-1 to confirm the break of the previous leg and to confirm her authority in the match.
100.
If we saw the missed dart at double 12 and the new dart to Gemma Hayter, you actually threw them, didn't you, on the stage earlier?
Luckily, I didn't film that bit.
39.
I've been told on my ear they
Gemma,
did.
you require
Oh, no.
121.
One for the bloopers, that's all I'll say. Doesn't need to go treble 17. Does go treble 17. That's aggressive.
83.
Interesting. Look what she's left again. That was the issues that she had in that second leg. She literally, you could see, should have go double 19, should have split. I think the fact that Barry Copeland's not on a finish,
43.
I think this time
Gemma,
she
you require
splits.
38.
Let's see. Goes aggressive. Inside, but this time she can set up and leave double
22.
eight upon a return. Barry Copeland hasn't really got out the traps tonight.
Yes, your pick.
$97. Gemma,
You
you
liked what
require
you saw from him in
16.
Group A. It was unpredictable at times, but Gemma Hayter has been the better player in this game.
Oh, that's bounced in and bounced out. That was on target, bar for that errant flight, knocking it off
No
course.
score. Barry, you require
Well, that was a real dosage of bad
128.
luck there from Gemma Hayter. And now she hopes Barry Copeland isn't just going to apply further insult to injury.
$90.
Well,
Gemma,
the
you
pressure
require
is
16.
very much been ramped up now. Gemma Hayter was looking so
Game
comfortable
shot
for
the fourth
3-1.
leg, Gemma Hayter.
She has ice through those veins. No dramas whatsoever. Gemma Hayter one away to join Scott
Fifth leg,
Campbell on
it's
4
Barry
points.
to throw first. Game on.
How much do you like trends, Glenn?
I prefer Oasis.
Now we agree on something. But anyway,
100.
less of that. There's a pattern emerging today. In this session, every single match has gone 4-1 so far. And if Gemma can win this, that pattern will continue.
60.
But I am with you. Oasis definitely much better.
I'm surprised my OCD didn't pick that up, actually.
Stick with me, pal. You go a long way.
59.
I think one player going a long way is Gemma Hayter.
100.
The fact that she's in this Group B, the fact that we were talking about her for automatic qualification, it's been a rapid rise as well. Like you say, she went a few years away from the game. She's very much back with a bang right now on a home turf.
140.
Barry Copeland did look like he was pulling things back against Scott Campbell and just had the opportunity to reduce the deficit in that game.
140.
This such an interesting yet so key exchange. Copeland with the darts in his hand, but he needs to make hay here.
99.
Otherwise, Hayter could be there to punish.
Yeah, I like that play from Barry. The execution on the centre of the board, just not there. So elegant.
100. Barry require 103.
Very tall. He uses that height and a beautiful last start. All the pressure again on the man from Northern Ireland, treble 17.
$67. Gemma, you require
Copeland leads himself
101.
on double 18. Hayter looking at 101 to win the match and win in some style. She had the 1-2-1 which changed the game against Leonard Gaze, but she's had another bounce out. And that would have afforded her a dart to have won this contest.
I mean, there is the argument that she should be nowhere near the wire.
69.
But that
Barry,
is
you require
unlucky.
36.
Barry Copeland's got away with one. He's very similar to the first game. He gave himself opportunities to double to reduce the deficit to 3-2. Didn't take it. He didn't take it.
27.
You talk about trends.
Gemma, you
Over to you,
require
Henry.
32.
Well, this to be the fourth consecutive 4-1 result of the night. Hayter looking at 32. One left. Bottom corner, surely.
Game's
Bottom
up
corner
and
found.
match,
And for Gemma Hayter, it's a second 4-1 win of the night. And she has beaten the top two in the betting at the beginning of play. Leonard Gates gone. Barry Copeland gone. 2 games played, 2 wins for Gemma Hayter. Average of in and around 85. The doubling at 25%. It was efficient. And it was efficient enough to get the better of Barry Copeland in that contest. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we're going to see Jamie Lewis and Leonard Gates in action. The winner will move on to 2 points. The loser will find themselves languished alongside Barry Copeland at the bottom of the pile.
$54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. $32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
It's a moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the
81.
stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
Oki with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think he's gone to bust it, maybe. The first title he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust. And
39.
on that situation there, George Gay wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
required
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go
Couldn't get the job
it.
done.
Got out the match. And the Red Dragon
George
Motor
Skate.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Skate.
What a start from Scott Campbell and Gemma Hayter. 2 wins out of 2 here at the Motor Super Series in this Group B campaign. And before a dart was thrown, was that the man in your picture, Leonard Gates, throwing darts there, was a heavy favourite. He had a very disappointing start to the night, losing to Gemma Hayter. But she's looking really good for qualification this early. The next game will be massive. Scott Campbell will be playing Gemma, so the 2 unbeaten players. But I think it could be a case of Jamie Lewis playing the wounded animal here. I fully expect to see the best of Leonard Gates in this game, because I would fear for him, or fear for the loser of this game, Henry.
Well, there really could be an upturn in
First leg, it's Leonard to
terms of
throw
form if
first.
Leonard Gates loses
Game
this
on.
match, because it'd be the three outsiders that would lead the group at the halfway stage of the opening night. Jamie Lewis, we mentioned before dart was thrown, was the unknown quantity. There was glimpses of stuff
140.
in his game against Scott Campbell. But again, I think he's the type of player that maybe we'll wait for the night to move forward before we maybe see the best of him.
Yeah, a lot of love for
81.
Jamie Lewis on social media right now. Lots of players wishing him luck, and good to see him back on the stage. And I thought he was very competitive in that defeat to Scott Campbell.
100.
And that's all he probably wanted and needed to know. He was openly admitted that, you know, the lows of the game, and I felt every word when you're talking about feeling full of
98.
anxiety when you're playing it. It's an awful place, but what he's done that I couldn't really replicate is the fact he's found that love for the game again. Back to basics
100.
was the title we called it, in a sense that he's going to play, and he is playing local stuff. Now he's just dipping his toe. And even when he was not playing in the PDC, he had a 10, 11 competitions on the
100.
WDF, winning the Antwerp
161.
Open. So even despite his lows, he was winning tournaments. But Gates was the favourite for a reason.
97.
He's got the pedigree and looking good for this opener.
He had a flirt, didn't he, Jamie Lewis, with life on the WDF server, without really giving it a serious go in terms of chasing anything. The Lakeside appearance was
58.
just
Leonard, you
a
require
bonus
64.
for him. Gates, 64 to take the opening leg. He'll probably have 6 from this mark to do so. 48 left, Lenny.
Yeah, we sort of talked about the fact that he's improved in this area of the game. And the reason I highlight that is
24.
64
Jamie,
is
you've got
just so
164.
regimental for the majority of dart players. And it's that stop-start that seems to be affecting Leonard Gates at the moment. But he will be back for tops. Normally so deadly with 3 darts in his
58.
hand.
Leonard, you require 40.
Double top for Leonard Gates to take out the opening leg. Double
Game
top
shot in
foul
the
for
first
Leonard
leg,
Gates to
Leonard
take out the
Gates.
opening leg. And maybe it's just a case of back to normal for the American.
Second
He
leg,
is
it's
not
Jamie
happy.
to throw
He's
first.
letting us know
Game
he's
on.
not happy. That felt like one of those scenes, you know, in Big Brother, you know, where they have something they haven't experienced and they go to the diary room.
100.
It was a little bit like that, wasn't it? Leonard Gates just telling the audience, telling the world his dismay and his displeasure despite taking out that opening leg.
60.
I wouldn't know. I never watched it. Who is he? Oh, that tickled me anyway. But
I'm glad someone found it funny, Cam.
58.
Ever been offered reality TV?
yes, I'm an A-lister.
100.
Speaking of A-lister, an A-list response from Leonard Gates. I felt we would see a response from him. Currently averaging over 101 in this match. Great reply.
180.
Well, these two are running and running red hot. Now we really are going through the levels.
100.
Lewis on 163. There's nothing he could do about that because he left 3-4-3. He'll feel like he's got 6 to level up. Unless Leonard has got something in the pipeline.
60. Leonard, you require 161.
Whatever happens tonight, please, Jamie Lewis, see the positives of what's happening here. His throw looks as good as ever.
55.
Maybe just
Jamie,
needs
you
that
require
belief
103.
again. This would help. Treble 17 needed. Treble 17 got.
71. Leonard, you require 106.
But when Leonard Gates is playing like he is, you may just get gilt-edged chances. And don't rule this out the equation. Treble 17 bull. Bullseye.
74. Jamie, you require 32.
So Lewis is going to get 3 more to equalise. Can work his way in here and does
Game shot
exactly
in the
that
second
to level
leg,
up at
Jamie
1-1.
Lewis.
Yeah, really good there from Jamie, because the issues that he had in his opening game with Scott Campbell was he had opportunities at the double.
Game on.
In particular, sort of that double 12, double 6 area of the board. And I was just wondering, is that going to be on his mind here? Is he
100.
had that first miss at the double 16? But a beautiful second dart, and we're all square.
$100.
I know it's early, Henry, but we've seen every play this week now. Who'll be lifting that title come Saturday night?
Can you give me one on geography, please, Glenn? I think it's one of them weeks where I just think we're none the wiser right now. I think players have shown patches of good stuff, but I don't think there's anybody yet, and that's despite how good Kevin Burness was this afternoon, that has shouted
60.
that they are screaming week winner potential yet. I still think the best is to come.
Well, I'm not going to sit in the fence. I'm going to go Gemma Hayter.
58.
She became the second female player to win a week after Bo Greaves did so. And it was around about this time last year, wasn't it? April time. The only player to have gone through an entire week without dropping a match.
Yeah, she's unbelievable.
Top of the Challenge Tour, Dev Tour, and Women's Series Order of Merit.
100.
Great stuff, Jamie Lewis.
Leonard 141.
Third max of this game, 2 for Jamie. Crucial moments in this match. Leonard Gates was looking good after that opening leg
60.
and a bit.
Jamie, you require 108.
If this 108 goes, and he may even return. 81, certainly not a gimme. Which route is he going? He's going down stairs. Now he wishes he didn't. He was almost as like he was looking at the 18s.
99 left, yeah.
I'm sure if Owen Binks was here, he'd be telling you and imploring you to go 18s, because he would tell you, in terms of missing, if you go either side, you still give yourself an
86.
opportunity.
Leonard, you require
But he's not here.
81.
It's much quieter because he's not here. And Leonard Gates is looking at 81 to take a 2-1 lead.
Well, he's had quite a bit of time stood behind Jamie Lewis. I always find that bemusing that he knows exactly what he wants to go for. There's the rock and roll as he goes back. So effective normally.
75.
This is not the
Jamie, you
version of
require
Leonard Gates
22.
we were expecting tonight.
Double 11, straight down the pipe. Inside. So
14.
Gates is lurking
Leonard, you require 6.
at the trap door. Oh, that's a beautiful guide. But he's readjusted too much.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit lobby that first start.
No score.
Clearly just
Jamie,
using
you
that in
require
his
8.
unique style that he's done. And Jamie Lewis is getting opportunities. They were punished in the opening game. Not so in this one. Such a good marker, that first one. And when things
6.
aren't going your way, that seems to
Leonard,
happen.
you require 6.
Leonard Gates will feel like a lucky man if this double 3 goes.
First start low, it may not be too bad. Well, he split it, 2-2-2.
Nervy moments on both.
Game shot at the
Right
third
down
leg,
the
Leonard
Justin
Gates.
pipe.
Gates leads
Fourth
2-1.
leg, it's
Jamie
to
Lewis
throw
has missed a
first.
gilt
Game
edge
on.
chance or two. A scrappy leg, but a leg that Gates can put under his name.
125.
Wow.
100.
So it's stoppage in play here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. If you are just joining us, welcome along. This is the Modus Super Series on Pluto TV, where we're into Game 5 of the evening session here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. This is how proceedings look. Scott Campbell and Gemma Hayter both on 4 points. Leonard Gates has won a match. Campbell beat Copeland 4-1. Hayter beat Gates 4-1. Campbell beat Lewis by 4-1. And guess what? Gemma Hayter beat Barry Copeland by 4-1. That is the picture in terms of tonight's action here on Pluto TV. Available on your smart TV and your smart device. Download the Pluto TV app to your preferred app store, and you can, as a consequence, add the Modus Super Series as your favourite channel on there. And on top of the live action that we bring to you 35 hours a week, you'll be able to watch bonus content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including exclusive interviews as part of the Tungsten Talk programme, the story of where we delve into the careers of star players. You'll also be able to go back through the archive of the Modus Super Series with classic matches and other great moments on the live lounge in Portsmouth. All available on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never, and you can watch all the darts content to your heart's content.
180.
Well, there goes the advertising bit for the night.
Bit? I thought you were never going to stop.
97.
Yeah, that league table was the in-play table based on the fact that Leonard Gates is leading this game.
92. Jamie, you've got 139.
Good set of play. 139 is always a very tricky way. It looks like he's going upstairs, which you don't often see. So 79 points left. Treble 13 or treble 19 are the two options. But so many players would start
63.
again. Another bounce out.
Leonard, you require 70.
So 70 for Gates to get the break and open up a 3-1 lead. He's going to get one in his hand, a double 16. Doesn't get, and so Lewis
Jamie,
is back for
76.
76 to square this game up at 2-2.
Yeah, 1 from 8 on the outer ring for Jamie. He's going to get another dart.
56. Leonard, you require 16.
2 8s for the break.
Game
3-1 Leonard Gates.
Leg, Leonard Gates.
Well, we know the scoreline pattern tonight, don't we, folks?
Fifth leg is Leonard to throw first.
If that
Game
trend,
on.
if that pattern was to continue, Leonard Gates will win this leg and win this game 4-1.
55.
Yeah, Group C this afternoon. Was it 5 of the first 6 games? Went the full 7 legs. So it has been a day of patterns, but yeah, incredibly potential. Another 4-1 scoreline here if Leonard Gates takes this leg. Still think plenty of work to do for Leonard Gates, but isn't he the type of player that if he can just get qualification, we know he has that ceiling, we know he loves to play in front of a crowd. He's probably possibly still going to Saturday night as the favourite, even despite where he finished in Group B.
Well, if you're interested in my thoughts, Glenn,
121.
I think Leonard hasn't got going yet this season. I think he's had a very good year in 2023. He was okay in 2024, but I still think that he hasn't got going at all in 2025. I still think there's a lot more for Leonard Gates to unlock.
Yeah, big couple of weeks for him. He's here next week for
83.
double trouble as well.
That's
an extraordinary lineup, which we'll be talking about over the next couple of days.
Well, you join us after the advertisement break at the end of this game. We'll be delving a bit more into that as me and Glenn enjoy our half-time oranges.
Scoring for fun as Jamie Lewis, but Leonard Gates just seems to be putting those afterburners on.
Doing the right things at the right time, a simple memo towards success. And so double 16 clinches the points and clinches another 4-1 win for Leonard Gates. For Jamie Lewis, well, it's been a case of playing in patches for him this evening. He missed a lot of darts and double in that contest. At the tail of the tape, Leonard Gates getting his first win on the night. Jamie Lewis still searching for a first victory. It's Scott Campbell and Gemma Hayter that lead the way at the halfway point of the night. And them two go head-to-head in our 6th game, which will be coming to you exclusively live on Pluto TV across the UK and associated territories on the other side of this short break.
for a screamer.
Game shot number
What a
4
finish
then.
from Leonard.
Game
But
shot
there is no
of the match.
problems here for Robert
And the double
Thornton.
treble 2 week champion.
17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible.
Game shot.
And it is.
Game shot number
And sometimes it's the biggest moments that make the
You gotta be kidding. Oh, that's cruelty from Neil Dock.
The Specials Week action in 2025 continues on Monday morning when we have the third of our Double Trouble weeks. It's going to be headlined by Simon Whitlock and Steve Beaton. Robert Thornton is the defending champion, having won the previous title in September. He beat Ted Evertson 2-0 behind to win that final. He's going to be in Group B alongside Ross Montgomery, the newly crowned World Seniors champion, and Steve West. Keegan Brown will make his debut playing on the stage in Group C in the afternoon sessions on Thursday and Friday. So that is what we're going to look forward to next week. The coverage begins on Pluto TV from 9:30 on Monday morning. But in terms of Thursday night's action here at the Modus Super Series, we're midway through the action and 5 games have been played. 5 games have gone in the direction of a 4-1 scoreline. And before the break, Leonard Gates got the better of Jamie Lewis by that particular margin. That was his first win of the evening. A couple of victories apiece for Scott Campbell and Gemma Hayter. They're the two at the top of the table. So Campbell on 4, Hayter on 4. Gates, the other player of a win. Jamie Lewis and Barry Copeland yet to get off the board so far in this Group B campaign. And it is going to be the 2 players at the top of the table that go toe-to-toe in our 6th game of the session as Scott Campbell and Gemma Hayter go head-to-head. The winner of this game will move on to 6 points in the group, and they'd have the opportunity to complete the card come the end of the night. They'd also put themselves in a very advantageous position to qualify through for Saturday evening showpiece, particularly with Jamie Lewis and Barry Copeland stranded without a point to their name. Well, both players have been very clinical in terms of the successes that they had. But out of the 2, Glenn, who have you been most impressed by?
Well, Scott Campbell started terrifically well. He just sort of didn't see out that opening game before going on to get those 4 points. He dealt with the barrage coming back from Jamie Lewis, but Gemma Hayter's has been outstanding, you know, to demolish Leonard Gates in her first game. And then, you know, not only to beat the favourite, but then to play the second favourite in Barry Copeland. But I just like her, the way she goes about with things. She doesn't over-celebrate. She doesn't look fazed by any of the players. And like I said, it's this will be almost like a game that, dare I say, they can both really enjoy, because I think the winner of this one is like dipping the toe in for qualification. 6 points, not much more they can do. They can go into their final game of the night, you know, with the real potential of going through the card.
But they mention in boxing, don't they, that styles make fights. And you actually look at the way both players go about their business in terms of the way they throw. They throw at a similar pace. There's nothing showy about the way they go about it. They just get up, they get on with it. I think both players will suit playing one another because of all of those points that have previously been mentioned. And Scott Campbell has kicked off tremendously, leaving himself on a ton after just 9 darts in this opening leg.
Yeah, that's what he's been doing.
96. Scott, you require 100.
Hayter has been left landlocked in this leg. And because of the block nature of the treble and because of the advantage he had in the leg, he decided to head down to the 16s with dart 2.
52. 100. Scott,
Campbell looking at 48 then to take the opening leg on throw. It's been an impressive first leg from the Scot. It's double 16. But he's still got plenty of time on his side.
Yeah, no dramas though. Gemma way back on 185. But there will be pressure on this 32. A little eyebrows raised there from Gemma.
32.
Scott Campbell who's come out the traps very nicely in both his games going into this one. We'll talk about trends tonight. And that trend continues.
First leg, Scott Campbell.
Pretty much playing to type 17 data equates to an average of 88.41. That's pretty much been the level he's been at throughout the course of the evening. Gemma's key tonight has been taking full advantage of key situations.
54.
Despite the fact she won both of her games by 4 legs to 1, there was always a pivotal moment in the middle of a match where if things transpired against, then she could have found herself in trouble. She found the 1-2-1 against Leonard Gates to make it 3-1 to get a crucial breaker throw when Leonard was looking to level up at 2 apiece. And then found a real power play, a real surge in the middle of her match against Barry Copeland.
60.
Yeah, great to see Scott Campbell playing like this. I sort of followed him at the Scottish Open last week. Like I say, he's a proud international player now. He's still playing local league. It must be a decent team because one of his players in his team is John Henderson. Imagine them rocking up to your club.
But they're two very close mates, Hendo and Scott. I actually remember just before Scott was making his debut here that John was playing a couple of weeks before and he was giving us the heads up on how good a player Scott Campbell is. Not that we needed to know that because he made a Challenge Tour semi-final, but the last couple of times he has been here. 1 week where he did make it through to Saturday, 1 week without, but he did play well despite not qualifying through last time.
And like I said, I know for the fear of repeating ourselves, the Modus Super Series gives opportunities to players like Scott Campbell. He's looked $1 million tonight and he's dominating this match.
96.
Just a reminder, Gemma Hayter won her opening 2 games. This is the battle of the 2 unbeaten players. And at this precise moment, it only looks like one player who's going to go on and win it.
100.
Pressing for home.
Scott, you require 40.
He had a double after 13 darts in leg 1. He's got a double after 12 in leg 2. Some performance this. 13 darts, a breaker throw. This game is firmly in the direction of Scott Campbell. He's got the break. He leads 2-0. 30 darts to take the opening couple of legs.
The leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Gemma Hayter's kind of playing at the level she's been at all evening long. 82.7, and that's just a scoring average because she hasn't had a chance in this game.
81.
Very impressive, Henry.
Well, there was 2 unknown quantities in this group,
45.
Scott Campbell and Jamie Lewis. Jamie has shown glimpses of stuff about really patching together the consistency, but by the other side of the coin, Scott Campbell has been the most impressive campaigner in this group so far.
Yeah, I was absolutely delighted to see Ross Montgomery win the World Seniors World Championships last week, and he has that unique style of kicking the oche as part of his process. Exactly what Scott Campbell does every time he walks to the board. And he gives that oche a right kick. There we go. All part of it every single time. And every single time tonight, he seems to have gone from kicking the oche to kicking that treble 20.
98.
Masterful display.
Forget kick the oche. He could be king of the oche by the end of the week. But Gemma Hayter's looking to be the second queen in Super Series darts. Only Bo Greaves has tasted success in the live lounge previously from the female side of the game.
Yeah, I'd have been amazed if this wasn't at least the 140 after that first dart. He couldn't have placed her any better. But down to a finish.
146 left after 12. Every single leg, Scott Campbell is leaving himself something handy, leaving himself in a position where his opponent's going to have to do something special to win the leg. And he's got 6 on this mark to open up a 3-0 lead.
56.
Well, look at his reaction with that first dart. I think he fancied that finish. But just a little glimmer of hope here for Hayter.
97.
Especially after that last start as well. It might take the bullseye out for Scott Campbell here. This for a 3-0 lead. Takes his time, very deliberate approach. Eyes on the 20 bed. Does he go nice and safe? Yes, he does. Didn't even consider anything but the bullseye. That was for 3-0 and a first
Gemma,
opportunity for Gemma Hayter.
Not had a dart at a double yet. And the first one she gets is at the bullseye. But a failure
43.
to pin leaves Campbell
required
in a
25.
position where he can stretch a 3-leg lead. It's double 8. It's cruise
Game
control
start in the third leg.
for Scott Campbell.
Campbell.
3-0 he leads. And he has this match, and potentially he has this group as well.
Fourth leg,
Exactly
it's Gemma to throw
where he
first.
wants it.
Game on.
Well, it's magic darts, like I said. The averages, I mean, it's a 90 average. We know we're going to see better than that, but it's just more to it. It's his demeanour, it's his confidence, his belief. And like I said, to limit Gemma Hayter to just one dart or a double, in inverted commas, that being the bullseye
57.
after 3 legs, is an indicator of just how well Scott Campbell is playing tonight.
At most levels, and I suppose even at professional level as well,
100.
a good solid 90 average, which puts into play very good finishing, is always going to be competitive. Is always going to see you there or thereabouts. You force your opponent to play well to beat
100.
you, particularly where in this scenario, Scott Campbell has the darts.
$100.
We did see a couple of good comebacks this afternoon. I was going to take something extra special because Scott Campbell hasn't and doesn't look like relenting in this match. It's going to take just Gemma Hayter having to find her A+ game.
Well, she's beginning to make inroads again, isn't she, Gemma Hayter?
100.
She's going to play at the same level she did all game long, but this perhaps the first leg where Scott Campbell hasn't quite hit as hard. However, another treble here makes him favour for the leg all of a sudden. And that's exactly what he's done.
146.
So many players start on the 19s. That could be a final
Scott,
three
you
darts in this game because Scott Campbell has looked supreme in this game. Treble, you'd expect treble 16. The reason being that's such an awkward one to get over and use as a guide.
$84. Gemma, you require 88.
Well, she's only had one opportunity at the bullseye in this game, and it looks like it's going to be the bull again to save the match. The
Game
middle
shot, the
of the
fourth leg,
diddle
Gemma
solves the
Hayter.
riddle. Gemma Hayter with a Hail Mary shot at the bullseye, pins it true to the middle to get
Fifth
herself
leg,
on the
it's Scott
board,
to
to
throw
give the
first.
Gem a glimmer
Game
of hope. But Scott Campbell here has the darts to see this game off once and for all. And if he takes this leg, all 6 matches played so far on this Thursday night would have all gone to a 4-1 scoreline.
100.
She had the 1-2-1 earlier in the bullseye, but that one was... Could it get any more central? I even got the sense that Scott Campbell enjoyed it.
100.
Maybe he wants the trend of 4 wants to continue.
Well, he won't care if he's 3 from 3. 3 from 3, big legs difference. Have the opportunity to complete the card in his final game.
26.
Would be against Leonard Gates.
Well, I said she'd have to find her A+ game if she was going to have the comeback of all comebacks. Well, she smacked in a bullseye to get her first leg on the board. A beautiful 180.
140.
Superb response.
Well, the questions really are being posed now. So Hayter could do with a treble here.
60.
Doesn't find. Yes, she's on a finish, but Scott Campbell from this point, 2-3-5, will expect to leave himself handy. Will probably expect to leave himself with the 2 darts the way he's scoring. Needs to find a treble, though. Goes to the bullseye, leaves himself on the fish.
Yeah, that's the only way to go. We haven't seen many attempts at these types of finishes today. A superb effort from Gemma Hayter.
97.
But we have waxed lyrical from
Scott,
his
you
first dart to his
170.
last. What a way, and what a way to end this match.
Is the fish going? Not on this occasion. So Hayter, you've got to give her credit here because at 3-0 behind, it looked like Scott Campbell was all but the winner of this contest. But she's worked her way back into it. A clutch dart at the bullseye in the previous leg, and now she's looking at 64. She's now looking at 8-8 to make it 3-2.
Game
finds it, last dart in hand.
Hayter.
It was hiding beneath the flight, but I can guarantee it's in. And Gemma Hayter is back in the contest and brings the contest back to throw.
Throw first. Game on.
Well, a 3-0 down. We've mentioned the comeback. It's not like Scott Campbell sort of, you know, he's still around that 90 average. It's the fact that Gemma Hayter has found her game.
Well, she's brought her average up to a bit more of an even kilter. There's now only 3 points between the pair in that particular department, as you can see on your screen now.
140.
For the first few legs, she was restricted to 0 in terms of opportunities.
100.
But by and large, when she's had a chance, she has taken it in this match.
60 behind is Campbell.
140.
Make that 80 ahead. Putting all the pressure back onto Gemma Hayter.
55.
6 darts there for Scott Campbell to complete this game 4-2. To get a third win on the board. To put himself in command of this Group B. That's his first max of the match. It may well be his last scoring visit of the match.
26.
It was
Scott,
a
you require
good
41.
attempt at the fight back from Gemma Hayter, but she looked on as that 180 went in. For a hat-trick of wins, Scotty is very hotty tonight.
Campbell.
6 points, a clear leader, and he has been superb tonight. It smiles all around because Gemma Hayter knows she's got one more game tonight. She realised how important that game was. Scott Campbell once again raced into a 3-0 lead. Hayter, a potential fight back was on, but a beautiful 180 in that last leg there. Excellent finish. Campbell looks the real deal as we move on to the next game. It's Barry Copeland against Leonard Gates.
Tops to target. No, he likes tops and
Game
pins
from the
that
second
perfectly.
leg.
Here we go again. It's unbelievable on tops.
180. Game
Two titles are lovely,
and the
but
week
3 are sugar sweet.
Super Series champion, Reese Robinson. Week 5 Motor Super Series champion. It's Reese Robinson.
Well, we're midway through the series here, the Motor Super Series. Reese Robinson was the 5th player to book his place into Champions Week. That takes place at the end of April, takes place and starts on Easter Monday, no less, here at the live lounge port on Pluto TV. But who is going to be the identity of name number 6 through the door for Champions Week? Well, Barry Copeland and Leonard Gates would have fancied their chances come the end of yesterday, but both find themselves in a bit of a mire. And if Barry Copeland loses this game, he is in big, big trouble. Loses this, he'll be on 0 points, 4 behind Leonard Gates. There's only 1 game left to play this evening. And there is a real considerable fear here, Glenn, that the bottom 2 at the end of night 1 could be very quickly detached.
Yeah, not what we expected for Barry Copeland either. We liked what we saw in his Group A campaign. Like I say, he just didn't start that opening game.
First leg, it's Barry to throw first.
Total road
Game on.
reversal. Scott Campbell was outstanding in that first game. And boy, has he kicked on. 3 wins out of 3 in this very competitive Group B. And I guess the last person you want to see if you're Barry
59.
Copeland is Leonard Gates, because you genuinely just haven't got a clue what he's going to do. But Leonard can put himself in a mighty fine position with victory over Copeland.
36.
Well, it's much better last time out from Leonard Gates. A 4-1 win against Jamie Lewis, 3-180. He's averaging excess of 86. It's not him at his sparkly best, but it was certainly a move in the right direction, particularly in comparison
100.
to the way he played in his opening match against Gemma Hayter. But I suppose you are correct in the fact that there's been a lot of impostering performances at times for Leonard Gates. You don't quite know what's going to follow up one or the other.
Well, early signs are good.
$140.
A much better start from Barry Copeland. His problems tonight have been he started so slowly in each game.
36.
It's almost he's having to go 2 or 3 legs behind before he kicks in.
$60.
Yeah, I think he's going to be bitterly disappointed with the way things have gone so far. He would have harbored real realistic
97.
ambitions
Barry
of
got 142.
qualifying out this group. I thought the 4-1 was a snip before dart was thrown. But for one reason or another, it hasn't quite correlated for Barry tonight.
100.
But he has left himself on a single to double if Gates cannot find the 152.
Yeah, great start from Barry Copeland. But you just don't know what you're going to get.
$85. Barry, you
So
require
Copeland to
42.
take out the opening leg. Look at a 42. Look at it, double 16. Shuffles across. We'll be looking towards the top side.
26.
But just inside. Gates has got to
Leonard,
go at
you
the 67.
require 67.
And that's what happens when you're not winning games. Almost like you're chasing those doubles. And Leonard Gates, once again, I don't think he's decided which way he's going to go. The majority of people would go treble 17 route. There is the option of treble 7. Well, it's the stop-start. He is fighting with himself. I don't think that came out of his fingers. That release was not how he wanted.
35.
And that
Barry,
culminated in the
require
miss.
16.
And after all that, Copeland gets 3 more double 8. Probably didn't expect another opportunity like this.
No score.
Yeah, you saw what
Leonard,
happened
you
with that
require
second. That almost
32.
covered the bed. He's having a nightmare night.
Game shot in the first leg.
Well, that
Leonard
probably
Gates.
was the summary of his evening so far. Leonard Gates gets the break. He pins the double 16 with the first dart. Out of the leg in terms of the scoring exchanges, it was Barry Copeland that dominated it. But 5 missed opportunities at a double, capitalised by the American ace. And it is Gates who leads by 1-0 in game 7 of our evening. Win here for Leonard would move him on to 4 points. There would be a chasm in the table.
43.
A table of 2 hearts if you get one coming from Glenn.
Yeah, massive game coming up for Jamie Lewis. He's up next against Gemma Hayter.
140.
It's not often we say this, but this Group B campaign could be almost over and done with on night 1.
May not need to bother turning up tomorrow, Glenn.
You said it, not me.
180.
Maybe Barry heard you. And I'm not finished yet, he says to Henry Deegan.
Well, Barry Copeland will not give up without a fight. It's one of his greatest qualities, his tenacity,
41.
his battling spirit, regardless of the scenario, regardless of the context. He will give it everything until that final dart goes in, whether it be for him, whether it be against him.
140.
He really does battle away, and he chips away for every inch he's got.
$121. Barry 138.
Heard that big come on there from Leonard Gates. We'll go back to the treble 20.
98.
What a dart that is.
Leonard, you acquire 99.
Well, this is a key exchange. Gates broke in leg 1. And if he gets the 99, he can confirm it. If not, Copeland will come back for tops. He's going to get 1 dart in his hand.
This double 16 hasn't been kind to him. He's rocking and rolling.
83.
How pivotal could that miss be when it comes to the final reckoning? Copeland looking at tops. Copeland gets tops in the top corner. 13 darter. He's back level at 1-1. He's back on an even kilter in what is a must-win game for the Northern Irish International.
Game on.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a roar coming from Leonard Gates as he missed that double 16. Replicated with a few more decibels from Barry Copeland.
97.
Well, both players roaring, but it's going to be raucous here on Saturday night at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. We've had some packed houses here at the Modus Super Series.
100.
And if you scan that QR code, you can be a part of the Darty Party in Pompey. Just £5 to be here on a Saturday evening. It's a real darting mecca beneath the church and the salubrious environment that the Modus Live Lounge brings you. And who knows, you could meet legends of the past next week. The likes of Steve Beaton and Simon Whitlock are going to be here. But you just never quite know who you're going to bump into that could then be future stars.
I think Leonard Gates, the fact that they've been playing darts 3 weeks consecutive, the seniors this week, he'll have something to say next week as well.
And of course, Keegan Brown will be representing the Isle of Wight. First player from that part of the world to play at the Super Series. Although, sorry, Keegs, it doesn't count as a nation, my friend.
I must admit, when I seen the players come out on social media, I didn't see the double trouble. I thought, wow, that's a week and a half.
Leonard, you acquire 136.
Both players on big outs. Gates gets first poke, but cannot get past the first step of the 136. And so, Copeland... 141.
Barry, 141.
He has to get because Leonard Gates is threatening the third breaker throw in this match. He could, you know, treble 19. Oh, this would sting. That would have stung Leonard Gates, but it's just on the inside.
Yeah, we talked about his fighting qualities. And he was given 150% there. But Leonard Gates does not look comfortable. He hasn't all night. That was tentative. That was aggressive, and listen to that. The pair of them are shouting with every single dart that's going into the double.
Fourth leg, it's Leonard to
They're
throw
both
first.
giving as good as they can
Game
get.
on.
3 legs played, 3 breaks, and so as a consequence, Gates leads 2-1.
We've had a couple of games today, haven't we, which have felt a little bit feisty up there.
41.
And I'm all for it, Glenn. I am all for it. Got to have a bit of fire, a bit of passion. There's a lot of money at stake. $5 for the weekly winner. 25 grand pocketed for the winner of Champions Week.
140.
Yes, you make friends here, but it's very key to also know that when you're in battle, you are in the heat of battle.
135.
Put it this way, I didn't see you and Scott Mitchell hugging all the time when you were battling for top spot in the BDO.
$60. $97. $78.
Just a little slip with the one there, but backed up there for Barry Copeland. But you sense this is the moment here for Leonard Gates. Should move.
59.
Well, should move, but not to there. That is an element of the game which just seems to be coming back to haunt me when I said his counting's getting better. But the difference being he hasn't left the finish.
140.
Barry Copeland's going to get a free hit with the 83.
Well, this is a game that we like to call a breakathlon here at the Super Series.
100. Barry acquire 83.
Because if Copeland gets this 83, it'll be the 4th consecutive leg at the beginning of this contest, which would have gone against throw. It's the bull. It's one dart. It's
58.
high. And Gates comes back to stretch his lead to
69.
2.
In normal circumstances, you fancy Leonard Gates with these types of finishes. But once again, he's just labouring up, not really sure what he's going to do. 54 points left. Tops.
49. Barry, you acquired
So
25.
Copeland 25. He's been given a let-off. Given a reprieve. But he has to make full use of this opportunity.
I think Barry might let Leonard Gates know if this double does go. Get ready for the roar.
17.
Would have been like that scene from Shrek,
Leonard,
wouldn't
you
it?
acquired
Do the
20.
roar. Double 10 for Gates for 3-1. For his lead to be stretched. To double
Game
his
shot in the
advantage and
fourth
to put
leg,
him to within
Leonard
1.
Gates.
Barry Copeland knew this was a must-win game, but he finds himself a leg away from losing
Fifth
it.
leg, it's Barry to
Gates
throw
3-1
first.
up.
Game on.
Gates in control, and he may well be opening up the floodgates for this group. Copeland has it all to do in more ways than one here. 1 from 10 in terms of his doubles in this match. The Northern Ireland International. You can't say he hasn't been given opportunities, but he hasn't been able to take them.
41.
Whereas Gates, 3 from 9. When a gilt edge chance has come, he has been more able to pick them apart.
100.
It is just about qualification. Saturday night does feel a little bit different, and for a player like Scott Campbell, you don't want to produce your best. You want to save
60.
something for Saturday night. Is that what we're seeing with Leonard Gates? He's winning games, but so unlike what we're seeing and what we used to seeing from him.
100.
Well, Thursday moves into Friday, and as we know here at the Live Lounge, that then becomes decision day.
60.
We only know one player that's into Saturday's final, but by the end of the night, we may well know or have a rough picture possibly as to definitely 2 of the 3 to make their way through Group B.
97.
Yeah, Colin Osborne's going to remain on the practice board. He has the fear of a couple of days. Does want to get lazy. Well, he's looking for that explosive average on Saturday night.
76. Barry, you require 104.
Well, Barry Copeland looking good once again. He's having to go from 3-0 down or 3-1 down before he starts producing the darts we're so accustomed to. Tops. Gates leads 3 legs to 2, but Barry Copeland is very much back in this match, but it's back on the throat of Leonard Gates.
Well, that is just the second tongue plus checkout we have seen all night long.
Game
the only
on.
other one, the 1-2-1 of Gemma Hayter. But Leonard Gates does have the opportunity to serve it out here and now. The game is still very much in his hands. Copeland knows that. And Copeland will try and show that urgency that is needed right now.
100.
Mark my words, this is where we'll see the magic here with these 3 darts from Leonard Gates. Every day of the week.
100.
He'll take that.
What are we going to see from Barry here, Glenn?
I think he's fighting, he's scrapping, and one of these darts might just sway into that one of the 5. He's fighting.
60.
The relaxation of Leonard Gates when he throws a dart, it's a real joy when he's at his best.
140.
Pushing and probing for home. Copeland needs to hit a max. It's the only way he's going to leave a finish. And so Leonard Gates now has 6 darts and 201 to complete a 4-2 victory. It would mean that he would find himself on 4 points. Level with Gemma Hayter. 1 game to go in the night for him against Scott Campbell. And it would mean that Jamie Lewis and Barry Copeland, well, they'll be bystanders down the bottom end of the table.
Big opportunity missed there from Leonard Gates. How many chances is Barry Copeland going to get? Needs another treble.
95.
But not that treble 5. 6 starts from 141 for Leonard Gates to put himself in a very strong position. It'll move him into 3rd place. More importantly,
60.
a qualifying place.
He's left 81. He is on the cusp of a huge 4-2 win. Copeland has had opportunities. He's 2 from 11 on the outer ring. But this
47.
game has been about
Leonard,
the proficiency, the
81.
efficiency of Leonard Gates when push has come to shove. 81 points away from a 4-2 win that would move him on to 4 points and put clear daylight between him and the bottom 2. It's 1 dart at the ball. Doesn't go.
56.
Normally
Barry,
again,
you require 140.
that soft tip background. So good on the ball. The chances are running out for Barry Copeland. There's nothing he can do. You saw his reaction there. He will put pressure.
100.
That's all he could do, but Leonard Gates for the match.
Well, he's hit the double 9. 18 scored, so that means 7 left. He confirms with the referee, George Baker, what he's got remaining. And he's going to get 1 more match start at double 2. But they say 2s never lose. But they haven't won Leonard Gates the match.
Barry, you require
once
40.
again, he didn't exude any confidence. He was rocking and rolling. Very typical. Barry Copeland once again. How many times tonight we're going to say it? He's been given chances, but unable
30.
to take it.
It's a head scratcher for real, isn't
Leonard,
it, Barry?
You require 4.
And so Leonard Gates will come back, looking at double 2 to win 4-2. Oh, he's got a lovely guide there. Can he just nest it over the top? Yes, he can. Leonard Gates moves on to 4 points in the group. Deals a bitter blow to Barry Copeland's chances of making it through. And it feels like some real table separation is beginning to develop. The top 3 having picked up 6, 4 and 4 respectively. Jamie Lewis and now Barry Copeland unable to get off the mark on this Thursday night. That's game 7. Game 8 is going to take place on the other side of the break, and it sees Gemma Hayter and Jamie Lewis go toe-to-toe. It's live and exclusive for you on this Thursday night on Pluto TV. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000.
The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
Welcome back. This is the Modus Live Lounge in Portsmouth, resplendent as we enter the early hours of Friday morning here. Before the break, Leonard Gates got the better of Barry Copeland by 4 legs to 2. That moves Leonard on to 4 points in the group. Gemma Hayter also on that mark. She can move on to 6, and she is going to bring her campaign to an end here against Jamie Lewis, who is only halfway through his night. Has lost his opening 2 games to a 4-1 scoreline. The first one against Scott Campbell, the second to Leonard Gates. He'll face Gemma Hayter here before then bringing the night's programme to a close when he takes on Barry Copeland. Well, that is such a weird second dart there. The flight came off the stemmer dart 2 and then stuck onto the first dart. Now that's one of the weirder
92.
collision courses that we have seen. I think even Gemma was a little bit perplexed by that one.
60.
Well, we've had a fun day of darts here at the Live Lounge in Port. I hope you've enjoyed it too. And if you do want to get in contact with us via our social media feeds, it is at MSS Darts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
100.
Or shall I say these days, known as X. I still call it Twitter, you know. I still call it Twitter, even to this day. Mind you, I'm not exactly one that's well up when it comes to the
96.
world of social media. Just logged out of my MySpace page.
140.
Hayter with that 140 has left herself on 102 to take the opening leg. Lewis languished back on 213. Well, this is a night for him, which is about discovering the pattern in which he wants to ply his trade with once again.
83. Gemma, you got 102.
Giving this a go, seeing how he reacts to the stage environment. Hayter, well, kind of used this as a stepping stone in terms of progressing her stage game when she played here initially in September, and she spent a lot of time on that stage at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth ever since. She makes it through to another Saturday. This place will become somewhat of a cauldron, and she's looking at double 16 here to take the opening leg, up for double 8.
16.
Not to be, and so Jamie Lewis is looking for the break and throw if he can find the 76. 25 bull, no other choice. Not to be for the fireball on this occasion.
36. Gemma, you require
And so
16.
Hayter is back, looking at double 8 to take the opening leg. Along for double 4. In the double 4. That was the double she hit to win her tour championship title back in November. And it's a double which sees Hayter in front in this opening leg. And if Hayter wins this game, she may find herself off number 2
100.
and looking at number 1.
Yeah, 6 points at the end of play. She'll have snapped your hands off for that earlier on tonight. Just that one. Just blot on the copybook tonight. But apart from that, a good night's work.
$60.
What's been your overall assessment of the evening, Glenn?
I think Scott Campbell's been magnificent. I think Gemma Hayter will be a worthy finalist, which is great to see. I think Jamie Lewis wasn't sure where his game is at, and it might be something that least expected, and that was his doubles. I think his scoring's fine, but he's competitive. He has to see the positives, even if he doesn't get the wins. Disappointed for Barry Copeland. We felt he was going to be good value tonight. And Leonard Gates, I think he's saving his best for Saturday night.
Well, Lewis here has got 6 and 199 to level up.
$43.
But if he loses this game, he may well be ringing 999 in terms of his hopes of qualifying through. He would need an emergency act of escapology to make it through. He's looking at 156 here. He'll feel like he's got 6 here to level up at 1 apiece, but it's not going to be got this time.
96.
Plan B was to leave a 2 dart, and that's exactly what he's done. And Gemma won't be doing another spectacular finish, but again, she'll be leaving a pretty. Treble 18 will help.
98. Jamie, you require 60.
So Jamie Lewis looking at 60, looking to level up.
This has been the area. I mean, that's very close to the treble.
40. Gemma, you require 60.
Dart 2. Well, that one's also very close to the treble. And now Gemma's got a open bed, an open target. And it worked so much better for Gemma than it did for Jamie. And it's a case of 260 breakdowns working in 2 different ways. And it's Hayter that has a 2-leg lead in this match. Remember, Gemma is rounding off her campaign here. At the end of this one, she'll be done for the night. She can finish on 6 points. She is in a hugely advantageous position.
$60.
Yeah, it'll be a difficult game for Jamie Lewis and Barry Copeland at the end, but who knows? They might just have to win that game and then go through the card tomorrow.
$60. $100. $60.
So Hayter
123.
in cruise control. Now the diversion to triple one means she leaves herself on 159. Nothing deliberate about that act, but it's only punishable by a Lewis Max here. It could be a Lewis Max here. 140 leaves him on 181. For Hayter with her setup turn.
26.
And so Jamie will feel like following that 26. He's got a real opportunity here to get that break back to return the game to throw.
95. Gemma, you've got 133.
And so Hayter looking at 133 to make it 3-0. Treble 19 not got. And so Jamie Lewis, it may just be a dart of the bullseye here. But it's an opportunity nonetheless to bring the deficit back down to 2-1. Treble 15 tops or treble 19, double 14. Went for treble 19 so we can have the nice lie straight down the middle of double 14.
34. Gemma, you require 40.
And so Hayter for 3-0. Looking at double 10. Now double 5. In it goes.
Third leg, Gemma Hayter.
Not overly pleased with the performance so far, but she'll be happy enough with the scoreline. 3-0 in the favour of Gemma Hayter of Gosport. When you think about Gosport and Carmarthen, I think of one thing.
96.
An FA Cup third qualifying round replay. Two towns that may be small on the map of England and Wales, but making huge waves in a darting context.
$100. $100. $140. $60.
So Lewis, 6 starts on 165 to get another one back on the board.
$85. $100. Jamie, you require 80.
So Jamie looking at 80, looking to bring it back to 3-1. Now this could be awkward because there's a whole heap in the way, but to his credit, he's found a way of just crashing it through the middle. You could see from the overhead angle there that was not an easy attempt at tops. But to his credit, he made it look effortless.
140.
But Gemma Hayter here in this leg has the opportunity to win the match, win 4-1, She'll have third win from 4, and they would all be by 4-1 scoreline. So not just would she win 3 games, but she gives herself such a healthy lead when it comes to the legs differential going in to Friday's action here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth.
$95. 85.
Well, just trying to finish the job off now is Gemma Hayter. Jamie still got one more game. That's against Barry Copeland.
140.
And that will be to see who's going to end the night on the basement without a point to their name.
121. Jamie 126.
So 1-2-6 here for Jamie Lewis to bring it back to 3-2. If not, Hayter's going to get a look at the 95 to win it. She is going to get a look at the 95 to win it.
82.
And to complete a 4-1 success and to complete her night with 3 wins and 4. 20 ball, bullseye. But because the first dart's low, this is awkward.
70.
But she wasn't too far away, all things considered. But it's far enough away to give Jamie Lewis another opening, to give him another opportunity, to give himself 2 darts at double 16.
Game shot at the 5th
That first dart was
Jamie
such
Lewis.
a beautiful guide. He used it perfectly. He's back in the game at 3-2.
6th leg, it's Jamie to throw first. Game on. $100. 99.
Perfect dart for Jamie Lewis.
140.
I say his scoring's actually been okay tonight. Just backing her up this time. This has been his best he's had on the doubles. Still
60.
round about that mid-80s average. I say if he looks back on whatever happens, he has to see that good things maybe just round the corner for Jamie Lewis.
Well, how many times do we say this about a player that's been in Jamie's shoes? The scoring is always going to be there or thereabouts, maybe not to the type that he'd want it. But the finish is always going to be the thing that may be a bit awkward because you're not knowing what it's like to be put in that pressure cooker situation for a while.
Yeah, it's that match sharpness, as we call it in the trade. Yeah, one thing you don't lose is that. But like I said, there's no... His throwing, his technique looks good. There's a sound foundation there for him to come back. And like I say, even through his troubles, he was winning big tournaments.
81.
So Jamie, 81 to take us all the way. Jemma did have control of this game, but that control has been whittled away, and that's to the credit of Jamie Lewis. He has to dart the ball to level up.
41.
Decides to square up for tops.
96.
As I said, his doubles have been so much better in this match. That'll be tested now because Gemma Hayter is right behind. Beautiful dart.
Jamie Lewis.
Excellent stuff from Jamie Lewis, and this would make the league table very, very interesting because it was a superb start from Gemma Hayter.
The final leg, it's Gemma to throw first. Game on.
She went into that all-conquering third game against the unbeaten Scott Campbell. She won't want to go away with only 4 points tonight, but like I said, she has this wonderful skill of not panicking under pressure. What's the pressure coming from Lewis?
95.
Well, this is how quickly the table could flip-flop here. Gemma Hayter's on 4 points, had the opportunity to move on to 6. But Jamie Lewis wins his last 2 games, because remember, he's got 1 more to go after this. He would be level on points with Gemma Hayter at the end of the first day's play. That is how quickly things can crisscross here.
Yes, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
125.
That old adage. Should go downstairs.
125.
Single 20 there would have left a bogey number. Oh, she's just piling the pressure on Lewis.
$100.
Lewis in red. You'd think he was driving a Ferrari.
Well, he's looking to turbocharge, but it's Gemma Hayter that's going for the gears here. She didn't want the 170, but she's in a good suit. Single to double after 12. Jamie needs to find another treble. You feel here does get another treble. Take your pick.
11.
Big number. It gets smaller and smaller. First part of the job done. This is a massive dart.
7.
And what an opportunity for Jamie Lawson.
41.
3-0 down.
Well, how this could be a game of two halves. How this could be a league of two halves. Gemma Hayter won her first two, but has lost her last two. And Jamie Lewis now has an opportunity to win his last two. Perhaps a sliding doors result in this Group B table, as Jamie Lewis beats Gemma Hayter 4-3. Hayter raced into a 3-0 lead in that contest before Jamie Lewis reeled off 4 on the spin to win in our last leg decider. We're off for a break, and when we return, it's Leonard Gates up against Scott Campbell.
So a chance here for one apiece with Reese.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy.
£25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor.
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion
And welcome back to the Motor Super Series, where the night started so fantastically well for Gemma Hayter, winning her opening 2 games. Despite the fact she lost the 3rd game, it was against the unbeaten Scott Campbell, who's approaching the hockey now. But Gemma Hayter will be sick as a chip because she has just let a 3-0 lead slip to the impressive Jamie Lewis. Jamie Lewis has his own story to tell. So for him to get a win under his belt, and incredibly, as Henry alluded to in that previous game there, if Jamie Lewis, who will finish off the night in the next game against Barry Copeland, if he wins that game, he goes level on 4 points for Gemma Hayter. So a fascinating night. But one thing we have learnt is that man throwing darts missed double 12 for a 9-darter in practice earlier.
Leonard to throw first.
But he's backed it up against the unpredictable and heavy favourite going into this Group B campaign, Leonard Gates. Looking forward to this one.
60.
Well, it's the penultimate match. This, Glenn, game 24 that we've commentated on today.
Yeah, we had a really stop-start Group C. It was more the pace of the game, but the headlines didn't change. Peter Wachuri on 8 points. Can't wait to see if he can see out the job tomorrow. Against, I thought, Kevin Bennett, who was quality-wise the best player in that Group C, and there's a few players there who will still have hope, but you feel they'd need a minimum 4 wins tomorrow. So it was an interesting Group C. We really built up this Group B. It's been a real domination from Scott Campbell, who can win all 4 games by beating Leonard Gates in this match.
59.
Campbell, the carrot has been dangled. The card completion very much on the line for him.
He's got it. He's that solid, massive scorer, isn't he? And he showed incredible amount of skill at the back end of legs as well. He's got the all-round game to do some damage this week.
55. Scott, you've got 130.
Plenty of time in this 130. Doesn't have to attack it. And so decides not to attack it.
80.
But a beautiful last start. I was just beginning to think that Leonard Gates, with a big score, he could get back into this leg.
125.
Brushed
Scott,
off
you
those.
require 50.
2 darts to go into the 5. Combination finish of big number. Is it a clutch double 16? Absolutely. And he's hit that spot,
Scott
Henry, a few times tonight.
Yeah, that's a 14 darter for Scott Campbell to take the opening leg of the contest.
Second leg, it's Scott.
Crucially, he's got the break that he needed at some point in the contest, right from the get-go in it. 3 legs away from winning all 4 matches on night 1 of this Group B.
91.
Glenn, I would like to welcome you to the busiest day of darts this year, because the UK Open kicks off a little bit later on. And you think you see a lot of darts in this building. Oh, there's going to be a lot of darts down at the Red Coat Arena at Butlins Minehead.
Yeah, a competition I've loved as a fan.
140.
Didn't particularly have much joy as a player there, but it's great. Massive crowds. Once again, everyone just looking for tickets. Butlins Arena.
95.
It's a massive joint. It's one of those ones where the stage feels an eternity away from the audience. But Luke Humphreys will go into it in good form after winning the Premier League tonight. Yeah, so really looking forward to that. But our focus will be on Group C and Group B tomorrow as we finalise another Saturday
99.
night.
Scott, you require 135.
So Campbell looking at 135 to open up a 2-love lead in the match. Double 20 leaves the bull. What to be?
I think treble 18 for me is the shot, but the fact is moved so far over.
55.
You've got that tiny target with a dart covering it, or a big open treble 18. Treble 17, Leonard.
99. Scott, you require 80.
So Campbell 80 for 2-0. It's a 14 darter in leg 1. So going to be a 15 darter in leg 2. Follow a similar pattern to his first match against Barry Copeland.
41.
I was about to say, you couldn't see
Leonard,
much of that top.
68.
Literally the half on that left-hand side, but it brushed off to the tungsten. You don't want to give this man too many chances. Again, he hasn't got a clue which way he's deciding to go. It's double 16 this time. He's rocking and rolling. Hasn't been kind.
Game shot in the second
But if
leg.
you persevere,
Leonard Gates.
which Leonard Gates has done, he's got back into this game. Scott Campbell will be feeling a little deflated. He's dominated
The
this
leg is Leonard
match
to throw
early doors.
first. Game on.
But it's Leonard Gates that now has the ascendancy.
Back we are at 1-1.
60.
What was your best one at the UK Open, Glenn?
I'm not.
40.
My memory is never brilliant anyway, but what I do remember is going to Bolton as a Riley's qualifier and winning £1,000 by beating Graham
41.
Usher in the final qualifier. It set me up a match with Terry Jenkins, of which I was meant to play him on board 8. But they said if Phil Taylor beats Chris Mason 9-0 or 9-1, you're going on the TV.
140.
9-0 later, I'm on TV and Terry Jenkins give me a walloping.
So what you're saying is, once again, Chris Mason was beaten very heavily by Phil Taylor.
57.
Now, I'm having a look at your Wikipedia page, Glenn.
What's that?
Last 64, 2020, 2021, 2022.
123.
I tell you what, I give you a lot of stick, but I'm actually going to give you a lot of credit here. Your record in tournaments was good.
100.
Quarterfinal, semi-final, 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 winner, quarterfinal in the PDC. In the WF Majors, 3 World Championships, 2 World Masters, 1 World Trophy, 3 Finder Masters.
100.
Yeah, you could play this game.
And now I'm sat with you
140.
at 5 to 1 in the morning.
Require 98.
And Scott Campbell looks at 98. What a dart.
$82.
It's been a charmed
Leonard,
life for Leonard
103.
Gates tonight. And just the way he plays. Once again, he's taking his time just to work out which route to go. The guy loves double 16. So treble 20 I would start, but it's clearly downstairs. 84 points left. Treble 20 or treble 16. Leonard would be my recommendations. For double 12. He gets there in the end. He's mustard. He really is. I mean, he's awkward to watch, and it's almost like you're smiling because you haven't got a clue what finishes he goes to, but what he is good at. With a dart in his hand and a double needed, he is as good as anyone. Superb finish.
100.
Well, Scott Campbell, despite trailing by 2 legs one, he said 2 goals to 1 there.
64.
Averaging 98.81. But they don't write averages on trophies, do they, Glenn?
I think that's a Chris Mason line, isn't it?
$100.
We might be round about that 1 a.m. mark.
40.
Well, that determination from the moment he come into the venue tonight. Scott Campbell is loud and proud. He knows the importance of he can get away with 4 wins tonight. Just the 1 win needed tomorrow. But whatever happens, 6 points is a good night's work.
81.
Well, Campbell comes back, looking at 90 to level up at 2-2, and Leonard Gates fires in a max there to put severe pressure on this 90, and if it doesn't go, Gates is going to get a look at a finish, which could give him the break at a 3-1 lead, but it's 2 at double 15. But there are more opportunities that have gone a begging. 1 from 5 on the finishing for
Leonard,
Scott Campbell.
77.
He was averaging 100 going into that darter double. I said it's a charmed life for Leonard Gates. Here we go again. Surely he has to start in the 19s bed, because even if he gets a single, a big 18.
Yes, 58 left, yeah.
So 58 points left. This is where he's great.
57. Scott, you require 30.
Presented another opportunity to Scott Campbell to level up at 2-2. Double 15 again. Well, it's decided to split it. 14 for double 8. Prefers this destination. But he can't prove as to why, and Gates will come back for that 3-1 advantage again.
I think he made the right decision. He's pointing to double 15 there. Will he be punished? Yes, he will.
Game shot in the fourth leg. Leonard Gates.
Funny old game, this one, isn't it?
Indeed it is.
Fifth leg is Leonard to throw first.
Looked
Game
purely based on the scoring, based purely on the averages, it would be a mismatch in the favour of Scott Campbell, but it's
100.
those wires around the edge of the board which is the big difference, and Gates 3 from 5, Campbell 1 from 7.
Now that is the in-play table, so that's based on Leonard Gates winning this game. The only thing that would change would be the legs difference there. But despite the fact it's been all about Scott Campbell tonight, there'll be absolutely nothing to separate them overnight if Leonard Gates can take this leg.
100.
Well, Leonard Gates would go top because of head-to-head.
Still a big opportunity for Jamie Lewis coming up next in our final game of the... Well, it's been a very long day of darts, but we're just beginning
100.
to see the likely qualifiers for Saturday night. And I think it's wide open.
Well, anything could happen, and anything probably will happen when the action resumes at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We're going to be live with you on Pluto TV across the United Kingdom and associated territories on the Pluto TV app.
89.
Available on your smartphone and your smart TV.
He's a lovely player to watch, Leonard Gates, when he's in full motion. But treble-less visit there. Just opens the door once again to Scott Campbell. Deadly on the treble. Just a few issues on the doubles in this match. Just 1 from 7 is the reason why he's 3-1 behind. But he's doing everything he can to get back into this game.
Well, it's not going to be a golden finish to the night for Leonard Gates, and so Scott Campbell is going to come back to have a look at this 72 to reduce the gap to 3-2 in this contest.
You sense it has to go. It's only going to be the one dart. And that dart is at tops. A lot of pressure on this.
32.
Bends the wire.
And that could be curtains for Campbell, because Gates is going to come back looking at 48, looking at double 16 to seal a 4-1 success. He takes his time over it. 1 left.
40.
A seeping
Scott,
frustration from the American. And so Campbell will again look at tops.
If you weren't watching, you think that was going in as he shouted, "Come on."
Game shot in the
Scott
fifth
Campbell,
leg.
who
Scott
takes
Campbell.
the leg and a break of throat. This match, bizarrely, is now back on throat.
Sixth leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on. $100.
So Campbell brings the game back to 3-2. What can Gates do in terms of shutting the gate in this match, bolting the door shut. Maximum there, his second of the match. Well, that may well help proceedings.
He is one of those players, Leonard Gates, where you just can't take your eyes off him. You literally do not know what he's going to do.
57.
We do get excited when players like Leonard start a leg with a 180. I think the focus is simply getting the 2 points, moving to 6.
14.
And from the moment I saw Leonard throw a dart tonight, watched him from afar in Group A, my assessment hasn't changed. He qualifies and produces his best darts on Saturday night. That's my viewpoint.
138.
So Leonard Gates has got 6 darts here for 181 to eventually see off Scott Campbell. A spirited fight back for the Scot.
100.
But Gates now looking to end this game once and for all and leaving himself on 81 after just 9 darts to complete a 4-2 rout.
Needs a treble.
90.
Gets the treble.
Leonard
Just keeps
81.
him involved. Leonard will start downstairs on the 19s. He loves it there. He loves double 12. 3 wins out to 4 for Leonard Gates. He hasn't been at his sparkling best tonight, but that's what great players can do. Leonard Gates has put himself in a fantastic position. He wins the match 4-2 as we move on to the final game of the night. It's Jamie Lewis against Barry Copeland.
$54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. $32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score, leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts, but he'll be coming back.
The moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
hockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think he's gone to bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George Scaife wasn't even able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
required
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy. Couldn't get the job done.
And the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Bonus
Scaife.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George
And welcome back to the Motor Super Series. It's the final game of the night, and it sees Jamie Lewis and Barry Copeland go toe-to-toe. Now, these two are the bottom two. But the win here for Jamie Lewis will put him on to 4 points. He wouldn't be able to leapfrog Gemma Hayter on legs difference, but he would give himself something to work with going into Friday's action. Well, to Barry Copeland, well, he's had a pointless night so far. Yet to win any of his opening 3 matches. Looking to get on the board in this, the last game of the night. Before the break, Leonard Gates joined Scott Campbell on 6 points with a 4-2 victory. But how are we going to pan out Thursday here on Pluto TV? It's Copeland against Lewis. It's Northern Ireland up against Wales. Officiated by England's George Baker. And for the final time today, for the 25th time today,
game on.
Battle lines have been drawn. The horns will be locked. And Glenn Durrant will be sat to poetically describe how this tungsten tussle will unfold.
Well, I thought it was going to be a real dead rubber game when Gemma Hayter was leading Jamie Lewis by 3 legs to 0. But you can clearly see that comeback has sparked something into him. And that's the ideal way to start
96.
this match. Listen, not many people in the know would have thought Barry Copeland would be sat on 0 points at the end of tonight. So he's got plenty to play for. But in relation to the group, as we had mentioned there, Jamie Lewis can put himself in a fantastic position. And it works out nicely for him because tomorrow night, Jamie Lewis plays 2 games in the first 3. He could all of a sudden be putting himself in a wonderful position. So all to play for.
100.
All to play for Jamie, but you feel like even on night 1, this is a now or never game for Barry Copeland. If he does make it through to Saturday, he will have his
59.
Northern Irish teammate Neil Duff in the crowd. He's making the trip over to Portsmouth early ahead of Double Trouble 3.
$60.
Are you working on Double Trouble next week, Henry?
Yes, I am. Looking forward to it. I'm with Mr. Edgar next week.
100.
Incredible what a little bit of confidence can do for you. Just getting those 2 points under his belt for Jamie Lewis. He opened the match with a 140. Complemented that with a maximum. And Copeland looking for help.
He is lost at sea. He is in a darting version of no man's land at this present moment in time. And Jamie Lewis can pick the pocket right away. The 16 leaves the requisite double. He pins it. That's a really good take. Clean enough. 15 darter. Lewis one up. Now, we said that maybe he's a player that could peak as the night draws towards a close. Just as he gets those match reps in the tank. Well, he really is beginning to surface in the right direction, which gives Barry Copeland a world filled with problems.
95. $96.
He's had a very interesting career, Jamie Lewis. We've talked about that 2018 World Championship campaign, but even as he was involved in darts from a very early age. His parents had a pub. He was playing sort of, in his words, grown-ups. When he was around about 10-year-old, he became the World Cup Boys Champion in 2009. And when you talk about the highs and the lows of the game, he's sort of experienced everything, hasn't he?
Well, there's nothing really that he can really say in his career that he hasn't faced, whether that be the highest highs, whether it be the biggest of adversity, sometimes even the biggest of scrutiny too. But I don't think he thinks about that. I just think he's playing with an air of just enjoying the game, enjoying the sport. That's almost something that's now consigned to the past. That's a different time, a different era, probably even a different Jamie Lewis. This is just him now enjoying a game that he has loved.
Yeah, and that makes me really jealous. Because it's something that I've admired him for doing that. Talking to him earlier, it's great. He's got that fire in the belly again, and just the fact that he knows he can do a 10, 11, 12 data. He can come back from 3-0 down. He can put himself in a great position for qualification. Step by step.
What was it the Oasis song said? Little by little.
44. Jamie requires 72.
So many players starting treble 16. Doesn't look like it's the eye line for that. So 63 points left. Just have a little check of the score there, Copeland. So you have to feel he's going to go for the 13 bull. The treble 13 would leave double 12. Double 12 it's going to be.
Yeah, 24 left.
And this for a 2-0 lead.
48. Barry require 109.
Well, this would be some way to level it here for Barry Copeland. Treble 19 leaves double 16.
77.
Not to be, so Lewis, who's
Jamie
played well in this game,
24.
has got 3 in his hand at double 12 to make it 2-0. Gets the double 12 and he gets the break. He has full ascendancy of this final game of the session, this final game of the day.
Throw first. Game on.
Yeah, I was about to say he had problems on double 12 and double 6. Like I say, it just looks like a different player all of a sudden, and good on him.
60.
He was almost like that wild card tonight, wasn't he? We weren't sure. We wouldn't have been surprised if he finished on 8 points or 0 points. It was just that unknown.
I think he'd be delighted with this if he can aim a 4.
59.
I think he'll be absolutely delighted. And regardless of the pattern as well, but the fact he won his last 2 will probably fill him a bit more confidence. But I think if you said to Jamie Lewis, you know the game show Deal or No Deal?
100.
And the last 2 options are 1p and 250,000, but you get given a nice offer. You're going to take the offer, aren't you? And I think if Jamie Lewis was given the offer of 4 points by the banker, I think he would have said deal and shook Noel Edmonds his hand.
$140.
I take it you're not a fan.
I'm trying to think who the new host is of Deal or No Deal.
Stephen Mulhern.
That's the guy.
60.
So if you're going to tell a story, you're going to have to tell it right, I'm afraid, Henry. It took you long enough to get it out.
Well, Noel's Deal or No Deal. Now, that was something. You'd watch that, finish at 5, and then the weakest link thereafter. But Barry Copeland's in severe threat of being the weakest link in this group, and he could be saying goodbye to his hopes of getting out this Group B if he loses this match.
Well, as Henry's talking about this, I'm focused on the fact that Jamie Lewis is double 8 away and averaging over 100 at this moment.
51.
What a shame that. One of those matches, you know, when you look at the averages and you see he's averaging over a ton. Penny for your thoughts, Gemma Hayter. Because her first game tomorrow
81.
will
Jamie
be against
16.
Jamie Lewis.
But I think Gemma will be the first to admit that in the 2 games she lost, she knows she had opportunities to turn that match the other way, turn those games the other way. But Jamie Lewis is turning the page and opens up a 3-0 lead.
Fourth leg, it's Barry to throw first. Game on. $44.
What a start.
140.
We felt that Barry Copeland was good value. Not anymore.
100.
He was still feeling pretty chipper. I've just seen him about 5 minutes ago.
Only problem is now he's going to find himself caught in a trap in terms of
60.
getting out of this Group B. You'll be the first to admit that it's been a little bit of a stinker this Thursday night. But Jamie has been like a fine wine, hasn't he? Just aging into the night effortlessly.
Yeah, it's really good to see. I'm sure the friends and family are watching Jamie despite the hour. But when he looks at that league table, compared to an hour ago, just a reminder, his third game, after losing his opening 2 games, he was 3-0 down. That incredible fight back, and the double bubble to that was the fact that it was against Gemma Hayter, who was sat in that final qualifying place. But Barry Copeland only seemed to come alive when he was 3-0 or 3-1 down tonight. And this is looking like a rapid victory
41. Jamie
for Jamie Lewis.
Gemma 19 doesn't go, so Copeland look at the 116 to
93.
extend the
Barry
game.
116.
Quite simply, it has to go because that treble 18 has left Jamie Lewis on double 4. Barry needs a treble 19, gets the treble 19 for double top.
76.
Skin the wire. And so Jamie Lewis heads back for double 4. He's got a beautiful guide and he utilised it perfectly. It's a perfect end to proceedings for Jamie Lewis. He beats Barry Copeland by 4 legs to 0 to win his final game of the night. And for Jamie Lewis, well, it was a slow start to the evening. A 4-0 victory against Barry Copeland to round off the evening session. He'd lost his first couple of games of the evening, but then he'd go on to win his final 2. Glenn Durrant's with me here in the commentary box, and for Jamie Lewis, well, that was some end to the night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a brilliant night. We chatted with Jamie earlier. It was that going into the unknown, and when he's losing his first 2 games, we saw the positives there. He probably didn't at that point. And then that third game was the turning point. It was the game changer, 3-0 down, and come back to win 4-3 against Gemma Hayter, and then a demolition job against the luckless Barry Copeland tonight, who finishes on 0 points.
So Jamie Lewis 4, Barry Copeland 0, the final result of the evening. And don't forget that on Monday, the third Double Trouble tournament will get underway. So this is what we have seen on this Thursday night at the Live Lounge Reporter. The first half of the session rattled through very quickly, and it was Scott Campbell and Gemma Hayter who really dominated proceedings. A couple of 4-1 victories apiece. Leonard Gates would get his first win of the night in Game 5 against Jamie Lewis, and then he would end the session strongly, getting victories against Barry Copeland and Scott Campbell to end his night. Jamie Lewis lost his first two, but would win against Gemma Hayter 4-3 from 3-0 behind, and then in that final game beat Barry Copeland 0. So that's what we have seen this evening. This is how the table looks consequently. Scott Campbell top of the table. Leonard Gates in second place on 6 points. Now the legs difference just favouring Scott Campbell there. Gemma Hayter and Jamie Lewis on 4 points respectively. Barry Copeland without a point to his name. Who do you think will be the happiest of the 5 players there, Glenn?
I think there's 4 players there who are going to go away thinking they can still qualify from this group. It's going to take something extra special from Barry Copeland from there now. So for me, 3 from 4, they all had their moments tonight.
So that's Group B. Earlier on this afternoon, we saw Group C get underway, and Kevin Burness and Peter Raturi both level on 8 points going into Friday's play. Remember, the top 2 from 6 will make their way through. Carl Coleman, Nolan Van Leuven and Donny Shearwater are all on 4 points respectively, and they are going to need big days on Friday if they're to make it through. Kevin Burness and Peter Raturi in a dominant position, and the headlines it would make in Kenya, Peter Raturi could qualify, would be seismic. He's already making waves back home. He'd make further waves if he was to make it through tomorrow afternoon. Well, plenty coming up, of course, Pluto TV over the course of the next few hours. Once we're done, we'll be discussing the life and the career of the 2021 PDT World Champion girl in prize. Paul Nicholson and Scott Mitchell will be in conversation for that one. The live darts resume tomorrow afternoon. 1 o'clock will be back underway on Pluto TV for the culmination of Group C. We'll then be back at 10 o'clock at night to see how Group B comes to a close. But from Glenn Durrant and myself, Henry Deacon, thank you for your company. Until tomorrow, we'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.
What a finish! What a man! The drum roll finishes, and the target is
And it comes on finals night, and it's a knockout.
Dirty Harrison! Van Velzen!
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy. So receive the trophy. £25,000.
The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen! And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen! And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison! And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor! Hayter.